held you up a little bit over here. That was nice of it.
The problem is you're so fast on the straight and then slow on the corner. But I guess that's a prep thing.
Yeah. How's the car feel with the lower tire pressure?
Feels better on the low speed, but not as good on the high speed.
Okay, so we'll leave them where they are. Just leave them where they are.
Although, the only thing I'm curious, is there a temperature,
Silly you, goodbye to all the haters, doubters, and non-believers trying to bring you down. In the blink of an eye, you'll realize that there's so much more to the book than the page you were stuck on. Finally, you will be free to live a life you love living instead of the life you think other people want you to live. Remember, you're the highest authority when it comes to knowing what you want and what you love. So stop trading yourself for the approval from others. Ladies and gentlemen, weirdos and geeks, please repeat after me. I don't give a fuck.
Target acquired.
Eagle 1, first strike. You have permission to engage the target.
Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Forgot to add myself. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. It's good to see everybody. Give me just 1 minute. We'll start calling off names here. It's going to be a good show tonight. I can feel it. I can taste it. It's in the air tonight. It's going to be awesome. Chairman of the board, Anson Knowles, was first. Now he's on a out-of-state mission tonight, so I don't know if he's going to actually make it for the entire show. We will see. Agrilapis, whatever, is in the house. He is here. It seems like 13 or somebody was first, but or pardon me, K2 Keep On Trucking was first, but he made a mistake on his date or something. I don't know. Smoking Spaceman is in the house. Damien, the parkour guy, is in the house early again. Smoking Spaceman says, "Did I see Scott on Tim Pool?" I did not. I've been looking for it, but I was busy all day today, and I did not get a chance to watch it. I will watch it on the replay. Tiki Tack is in the house. Fredo Fonzarelli made it. Wade Boggs is in the house. Good to see you. Wolfpack has dropped by. SD Guy 64, good to see you. Those memberships look good on you guys, by the way. Beth Mayhew, good to see you. Good to see you. Mr. is in the house. Saw him earlier where I was lurking, because that's what I do. I lurk. Ben has made it in the house. Eric R. Oak is in the house, along with Chili Dog. Good evening, Chili Dog. I'm not sure that I've seen you around, but welcome, sir. Jack M. Sheridan, good to see you. I did say Ben was in the house already, and we have got a lot going on tonight. Got it going on. Got done with your kid and popped in here. Well, all right. Good to see you. Good to have everybody in the chat tonight. Hopefully we get a lot more. As a special guest tonight, I do have the fellow that I debated about a week ago on my channel. Andrew was the moderator. His name is Average Debate Enjoyer. He should be popping in anytime. We will see if that happens. And I think he will. I think, he's a good egg, as they say. And can't wait to, we're just going to chat tonight. We're not debating or anything like that. So there's, it's just going to be, I actually kind of just want to talk to him and see what he's like, outside of the debate sphere, because people are different depending on how they agree. I'll figure it out, man. The L is silent. Agrilopolis. Agrilopolis. Whatever. Arthur Daya is in the house. We will discuss some tariffs tonight. Yeah. I wanna say the Agriopolis. I could go with that. All right, so what's up, Devin Anderson? Good to see you. Agripolis. Okay. I can go with either of those. So my buddy Scott was on Timcast. Everyone's reminding me of that. I wish I'd been, I've been busy, I've been super busy all day and just I've not had a lot of free time today. So I do apologize to everyone that I'm not better prepared, but I will get to it shortly. I was kind of just doing some last minute admin things. I was goofing off. I will freely admit that I was goofing off. I have no problem admitting I was goofing off because there's nothing wrong with goofing off every once in a while. And there we go. Now I'm done, and I can focus on the show. Show. Angry Police. I like that. Scott destroyed him. Scott, look, guys, I'm going to tell you, people think that guys like Pisco and Destiny and some of these other guys are really great debaters, but really they're not. And that's when you get somebody like Scott or Rob Noor or Andrew to go up against him. Those guys, they kind of just destroyed, kind of leveled. And look, I actually just had to sit through a conversation where a guy was claiming that because Andrew references his Orthodox faith as the pillars of his morality, that that's a bad argument. He should lose, because he's just it's made up stuff. But the thing is that he can cite something other than his feelings for what ought be. And that's pretty hard to fight against in a debate. I can't understand how Pisco. Now, look, Pisco is very talented in very narrow spheres, right? Like a lot of lawyers, and once he gets out of that sphere, he's done. And I think he only agrees to debate with Rob because first of all, I think he needs to seem relevant. Look, guys, a lot of people. I know this is going to come as a shock to you guys. But believe it or not, it's not a common thing for people to be able to sit in front of a camera for 3 hours and just talk and entertain people. That's actually really hard. I struggle with it all the time. I'm not a particularly good person at doing this, but a lot of people really struggle with it. So guys like Pisco, they have to debate somebody. There we go. Michelle comes in fighting back. The humanist moral framework audits all cultural and religious framework. I'm going to put some thought into that. I don't think it does, but I'll put some thought into it, make sure that I'm right before I say that you're wrong. Welcome, EOD696. It was a good show with you the other night, even though we bored literally everyone. By the way, I missed somebody else coming in. Effing Epic. I always want to say effing Eric and Devin Anderson. Both of those guys came in. Good to see you both. It's going to be a great show. Lord of Pies, Wonder Dog, has made his way on in, so that's good. Yeah, so I don't know if you guys have been paying attention. There's all kinds of nonsense going on in the world today, and I actually had kind of a different show in mind tonight, but I think I've got some other stuff I want to talk about. We're going to get into it. Tar Baby Yoda, good to see you. And generically, when I'm in this monologue, I'm kind of paying attention to chat, and we are not men in the house. We are not men is wondering where my neck is. My neck is here, about 4 inches, which is longer than your cock. So by reputation only, the only reason I believe you have one is because people have talked about how small it is. Otherwise, I wouldn't even believe you had a penis. However, I'm glad that you joined the show. Are We Not Men? Good to see you in the chat, and make sure to stay the entire night so I get those fucking watch hours, you sadistic prick. You doing good? Good to see you. Yeah, you are butthurt. You just won't go away. It's just really weird. Anyway, Tar Baby Yoda, good to see you. Not sure. I'm not sure that I've interacted with you either, but good to see you. Good to see you in the chat. By the way, guys, just in case you don't know, if you want to come up as a guest on the show, there's a couple of ways to do that. And there are a couple of ways to do that. And one of them is to get a hold of a mod and ask, and they will give you the link to the Discord. You go to the Discord, you go to the waiting room. The mods may, if we don't know you, ask you a few questions about who you are and why you want to be on the show. And then they will give you the link and you can come up. If you don't want to be on the show, that's totally cool. This is not a friendly environment. This is not, I am not a kind person. I'm kind of a person, but I'm not a kind person. And so, yeah. The worst thing is that you piss me off, and then I'll just turn you over to the chat, and the chat will chew you up, and maybe they'll spit you out. But more than likely, they're going to poop you out next week with the Wheaties that they have tonight. $5 comes in from Mr. Boulay in the Department of Numismatics. Caught a bit of you on panel with the Vegas boys. Think you caught Michael off guard with your questioning. Good job. I did, actually. I think that's why Rolo had to leave, because he doesn't like being questioned, and he doesn't like being questioned in a way that's non-confrontational. And that's okay. Those guys don't have to. They're welcome to be on the show too, if they're watching, which they probably are. And if they're not, they'll watch it on the replay. And even then, they're free to come aboard and have a good time with the rest of us. So there you go. There you go. So there we go. Yeah, the pillars are not made up. I'm not really sure what we're going into that. Secularist I made it up. I made it up. The fuck morals. Okay, I got you. You guys are having fun in the chat. I love it. I love that Michelle is pulling an Angry Casper and saying, prove me wrong. Even when you prove Angry Casper wrong, he just kind of spurgs out. Which is why there's no point in proving him wrong anymore, by the way. So, yeah. Yeah. Rolo is a beta male. I don't know about that. Look, I think the guy is. I think you got to have pretty thick skin to take all of the nonsense that's been thrown at him over the years, and I wish him the best. I also think that he backs people that he knows are fucked up because they represent his theory and his books, and that drives people to his program, to his show, and to his books. And like a bunch of people, he would rather be rich than right. Nothing wrong with that. It's just call it what it is, right? Like he knows that 50 bodies shit that Walter used to throw around is not red pill, and he knows that's that's harmful to both men and women. But he doesn't say shit about it. And when asked about Wes Watson specifically, by the way, I did that. I asked him about Wes Watson. He basically said that, well, what about Wes? Wes was out of line. Wes, the thing between him and Andrew, that was, he likes them both, and Wes, Wes is his own dude and all that kind of stuff. But he never actually came out and said Wes Watson is a charlatan that uses the red pill descriptors as prescriptors to bullshit people into buying his program that he doesn't even make good on half the time. So fuck that guy. And that's what Rolo should have said. He never has, and he never will, because if he does, it looks bad on his brand. Which, by the way, I think it would actually make his brand look stronger, but nobody asked me. So are we not? We are not men. The only person that's sucking around here is you, from that gaping hole in your face that you suck cock through. It's weird how you keep talking about other men all the time, rather than get the fuck off and go find some women or something. Obviously, you haven't had pussy since it's had you. Good job there, pal. Good job there. You were still there. You're still here. You're still here, and I'm still making fun of you. That's right. Never go full retard. I got that. Hang on. Where is that? Where is it? I got that. That's some shit right there. No, that's wrong clip. It's wrong clip. Sorry, that was the wrong clip. That was the wrong clip. I'm sorry. My bad. I got my clips messed up. I apologize. That was funny, though. That was fucking funny. I love it, man. I love it. You guys are, it's going to be a good show. I'm telling you. Where the fuck is my guest? That some bitch. Oh. Here, I got one for you. Are we not, men? I got one for you. Have you seen this? This is new. But hold on. I got this. It's just please stand by for a message from our sponsors.
Everyone does it. Now you can do it too. Shut the fuck up. Shut your mouth. Shut up. Shut the hole in your face. Like that. You can do it. Shh. Shut up. And shut the fuck up.
This message is brought to you by everyone in the fucking chat for We Are Not Men. Yeah. It's cool, man. It's cool. What can you do when you're a hobbit like fucking Are We Not Men? Or a troll, whatever the fucking Lord of the Rings shit is that he resembles. So, yeah. It is great. It is great. I'm having a lot of fun. I might have a small dick, but I got 2 prizes for fucking. What do you got? Jonathan, what's up, buddy? That's a serious question. I'll actually answer that. That's funny. Wait, hold on. Stand by. Stand by. Stand by. You heard nothing but a big L. There we go. That boy ready to go. All right, Jonathan, what are my thoughts on the stock market? Well, to be honest with you, right now, I'm buying. And I'll buy this entire dip. historically, the stock market's just been growing and growing and growing. I think that volatility is something I love. People are making money in the stock market hand over fist. I actually understand now, by the way. The other night I was talking about my buddy who may be in the chat tonight. We'll see. My buddy who is, he's really pissed at Trump, and he's Israel is in control of the world conspiracy theory guy. And, but I think the real reason why he's all pissed off is his Tesla stock has gone down quite a bit, and it hasn't come back as much as he wants it to. So, it hurts his feelings. It hurts his feelings. So I don't know. I don't know what you want to say about that, but I think the stock market's going to come back. I think it's going to be pretty good, and I think it's going to have a lot of fun. I'm going to have a lot of fun doing it. Yeah. So, it's it's just it's just something cool. Sorry, I fucked up my chat here. I got to play catch up. Give me 1 second, catching up. You know how we know our We Are Not Men is a loser? You know how we know he's a loser? Because he comes here to talk shit and get made fun of. Is there any bigger L to take? Is there? I don't think there is. I'll get Glenn on here in a little bit, and then we can all make fun of him. So yeah. Anyway, he although I will give him, by the way, guys, let's all say a prayer for We're Not Men, because he does live in California. It's not his fault he's regarded. It's not his fault that his intelligence level is low. It's not his fault that his testosterone is in the toilet. He lives in California, and I'm sorry, it's just what happens there. So, yeah. So, but anyway, what's up, Lauren? How are you? Maybe he has a degradation fetish. I mean, that's possible. I mean, I can't rule it out. I don't know the guy personally. I've talked to him a couple of times, but I don't know him personally. Maybe he does. I don't know. You should see a doctor or something. So yeah. Your testosterone is through the roof. I sincerely doubt that. Like, I really, really doubt that. Like, I doubt that so much. Unless, of course, you're on TRT, which, yeah, sorry. I haven't been poked in the eye by my own penis since I was 14 and learned what to do with it. You just had yours tested last month and it was normal? All right. Cool. Where the fuck is my... You know what? I'm going to bitch at this guy. All right, hang on. Let me give him another. He says the link isn't working. Followed up with maybe he's regarded. I'm giving him another link. Actually, I may have given out the wrong link earlier. That may be my fault. That may be my bad. There we go. Let me go back and let me give the right. All right. See if he pops in here in a minute. Yes, indeedly doodly. All right. Now maybe I'll get my guest in here. We'll see how it's going. By the way, I'm curious. I haven't seen that Moonlight girl again. I have not seen the Moonlight girl again. I'm not really sure why. I'm not really sure. Maybe I made her mad. I don't know. What's up, Siege D? Grid talking with Rolo and Sartain was awesome. Yeah, absolutely. They're just men. They're just men. We were having man talk. What's up, Siege? By the way, you've been missing, brother. We've been missing the siegeness of the siege. I have not seen Moonlight since she came in and was very angry. There's something like that. My guest has arrived. Welcome to the show, average debate employer Tyler. How the hell are you?
Oh, I'm doing good. You hear me? Everything's working on my end?
Yeah, absolutely. I can hear you. By the way, if I start making fun of someone in the chat about how low T, whiny ass bitch they are, it's not you, bro. Somebody else. Okay? They know who they are. They know who they are. So anyway, but I'm actually just probably going to just let the chat after them now because, I think they've pissed the chat off enough that, the one thing you don't do is you don't fuck with the chat, especially my chat. My chat's angry. They're angry people. So how the hell are you, Tyler? How have you been, man?
I'm doing all right. Things are good. I had my dad died about 18 months ago. I started taking over his car.
Your volume's like super low. I'm going to boost it on my end, but maybe talk into your mic. You just.
How's it doing? Is that better?
There you go. There you go. I think you hit the mute button as well that time, but that's
yeah. So my dad died about 18 months ago. I took over his car. It was the most hair-pulling process between New York, Texas, and Georgia to get the title switched over to my sister's name, the state switched over to her name, and all that shit. I just got it done 2 days ago. I'm feeling super accomplished.
Wow. That does sound like it's a real
fucking bureaucracy, man. It took forever for this shit.
Yeah. It really seems like you're more of a libertarian than anything else.
Well, libertarians and liberals do have some common. I like public institutions, but I don't know. In my opinion, I wish that they would coordinate more. And the 10th Amendment maybe gets in the way a little bit of that, I feel like. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, no, this tariff
stance on women voting.
I don't honestly care.
You don't care? Okay.
No, I feel like if you started doing something like land plots at this point, George Soros, Elon Musk could go out and buy 1 million acres or whatever and split it up into little land plots and give it out to all the voters that they wanted. And there would just be ways to get around all that shit now. So I think it's all putting up roadblocks that we can just get past. Like the grandfather clause, you ended up seeing black literacy rates jump way up ahead of Southern white literacy rates after they were required to take literacy tests. And then you see, this is in a Thomas Sowell book, Discrimination and Disparities. You see in Detroit, there's data about hiring. They were hiring black workers higher than the rates of Southern whites because they were more literate and able and just better workers generally. It was so. Kind of feel like that.
There's a lot of preconceptions that people have that don't bear out, right?
Yeah. So I'm having this tariff argument thing, and I'm attacking these dudes. I'm coming at them with Barack.
Yeah, let's talk tariffs, man. I want to talk tariffs.
I'm coming from the left. They're not gonna know I hit them because I'm going in the side.
Because you're from the left.
Yeah, but they're not gonna anticipate this. I'm going to call them all neocons. I'm going to call them all Reaganites. I'm going to ask them why they like trickle-down economics so much. They're going to have to eat their words for the last 10 years if they want to support free market economics. I'm going to hold their feet to the fire for climate policy. Relate all their arguments over to climate policy. Are you against it here? Why not? Are you just saying you're a libertarian because Trump is using tariffs? I'm going to call it. It's a hypocrisy argument.
Okay. So where do you personally stand on tariffs?
I think that Trump is taking personally right now with that a reciprocal tariff is he's taking too big of a bite of the apple. They've been working generally like Mexico's a good microcosm for this. Trump put tariff on Mexico. He got 3 big executive orders, the biggest one being migrant protection protocols. The holdup there was he needed Mexico to agree to take non-Mexican citizens that we were deporting for stay in Mexico. And when he used tariffs to force them into that, it worked. Biden came in, revoked all those in February of 2021. After that, Biden started diplomacy, put Kamala Harris on it to work diplomacy with Mexico. After 3 years, Mexico came out and said, give us $20 billion of U.S. dollars and we'll seal our southern border with that money. So Biden's 3 years of diplomacy resulted in Mexico builds a wall and we pay for it. And like that's the exact opposite of Trump. Trump comes back in and plays hardball with Mexico. Migrant protection protocols go right back in again. So it shows me like some of these places kind of had this comeuppance coming, and Mexico was one of them. They basically said, you build our border wall for us and we'll enforce it. Otherwise, fuck off. And at that point, it's like, all right, get them. So
I have one for you. You know how I don't know if you've watched my show lately or whatever, but I've got a buddy of mine, and he acts like he's a conservative, like super conservative guy, but he also acts like he's just like checking. He doesn't agree with any of the politicians. He's one of those no compromise fuckheads. You know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't understand. He to him it's you have to hit every point and be the furthest level of it, or fuck everything, just throw it in the garbage. None of it's worth anything. And I had to actually talk to him about voting. Like he really wasn't even going to vote. And I'm like, why would you not fucking vote? Yeah, I actually told him, I'm like, dude, if you don't vote, I don't want to hear another fucking word from you for the next 4 years about shit that happens, you know? He's like, well, my vote doesn't count. And I said, obviously it fucking does, or nobody'd do it. So go do it. And
especially state and local.
Yeah, even just local. Yeah. I told him, you know, and well, he doesn't believe even local elections that it matters. And I mean, he is in Michigan, so to some degree that's true. But at the same time, so he's been on this the Israelis control the world kick through their like secret society, blackmailing everyone. They've got dirt on everyone. They're paying everybody off and all of this nonsense. And I'm like, I don't believe in that. I just don't, because like supposedly Epstein had dirt on everybody, and you saw what happened to that dude.
Yeah.
Right. Like if you have dirt, and like if you literally have dirt on a politician, I mean, I don't think you can really blackmail them, because they'll just kill you, right?
There's so much dirt to be had on Biden, and a little bit of it is speculation because the blowers in the IRS never got a real investigation into the Biden family. Hold on.
Stand by 1 second. Charles Darwin, I'm sorry. Did you ask something and I missed it? I apologize. What was it? What do you want to know?
Charles Darwin, I'm very captivating. It's not your fault, dog. It's just me.
Yeah. No, you're totally cool. No, so it's all right. So look, everybody wants to air some dirty laundry. Tyler, take 2 here. This is a 3-minute vocalization. Maybe not even that long. I can sum this up. So what happened is Are We Not Men tried to come in and blackmail creators, saying that he generated their revenue, that he was responsible for the super chats and the grift and all of that. And then he when we were saying things that he doesn't like, right? And when Glenn brought Michelle on, Are We Not Men lost his fucking shit. And he tried to actually tell me that because I was platforming certain people, that I would not be tolerated in the crucible. He actually told me that. He told me that then the dumbass motherfucker went around and did the bitch ass thing that everyone hates. He edited his Discord so that when I actually was going to send that shit to Andrew, and he knows it. So Are We Not Men is, as far as I'm concerned, he's persona non grata. Okay. As long as I can make fun of him, he's cool. But other than that, fuck that guy. He doesn't make shit for me. a matter of fact, he's basically an extortionist, and that's all he is. And now he's trying to make Michelle feel bad because, well, Glenn hasn't even been able to stream in the last 3 months because he's been taking care of his sick friend. You stupid fuck. So Are We Not Men? Get your balls in order or fuck off. I don't care which. You don't matter. And Darwin, that's what's going on. That's why nobody likes Are We Not Men. Are We Not Men is not a man. He's an extortionist. And by definition, you're not a man if you extort people. So there we go. Was I within my 3-minute limit there? I'm sorry. We were having a great conversation.
No, you do your thing, man. It's a show.
So yeah, okay, cool. Yeah. So that's anyway. So my buddy, he believes the Israelis control everything, and so I asked him. I'm like, well, then why are not more politicians Jewish? If literally if they control the fucking world, if they're manipulating everything, if they're capable of what you say, why are they not? Why is not every politician elected Jewish? Oh, well, they prefer to be bankers and run finance and all that. Well, who controls that? Well, that's literally the government. There are tons of Jewish politicians, but Jack, did you know that the leading faith of politicians is Catholic? Catholic, Roman Catholic, to be specific. It's weird though. It's very strange. Like even here in the South, where we're mostly like Baptist and stuff, you'll still get that odd Roman Catholic guy. You're like, where did that guy come from? Like we got like one Catholic church. I was like, where did that guy come from? And but anyway, that's anyway. So but at any rate, so we're having this discussion. And I'm like, and he thinks Trump is in Israel's pocket because Trump has been very consistent in his support of Israel. And I'm like, well, I mean, he's not doing anything he didn't already do. You know what I mean? So,
there is a debate, and now I'm not practicing in any theories of any people or anything, but there is a debate to be had about the high per capita amount of one particular demographic representing a big portion of the donor class. And we saw that when the Harris campaign was brought up about the whole busting out the maps of Rafah, telling them not to move in there, saying Israel's hurting too many innocents. You saw a lot of the donor class that was normally tied to the Democratic Party primary out. They primaried out, I think, 3 of the squad that were like Cory Bush.
Well, no, sure. I mean, I think it's fair to say that unlike a lot of Christians or non-Christians, the Jewish will put their money where their mouth is. Like they will, like. And it's in. I mean, that's a great side discussion. I don't want to get too far off my thing here. So, how do you feel about that? Trump levied an aggressive 17% tariff on on Israel because Israel had tariffs against us. Plus, and everybody thinks it was especially punitive because Trump was just like matching everybody else's tariffs, but with Israel, he went hard. So the working theory is that Trump went that hard because he went to bat for them, got the ceasefire, and then Israel broke the ceasefire. And this was Trump's way of going, don't you fuck me when I stand up for you. Like, I went to bat for you. And because that's the way he does things, right? Like historically, this is very consistent with what he does, right?
But if you look at a lot of the foreign policy moves that they're making right now in terms of they're hitting the Houthis, they gave Israel the green light to go ahead and completely start bombing Gaza again. They also gave Israel the green light to stop giving aid to Gaza. They're less than 2 weeks away from running out of food, and Hamas has been seizing most of those aid trucks.
I have to sidebar one more minute. If that's true, Are We Not Men? Go fuck around with those people and make them a bunch of money and stop fucking around with me. Get the fuck out. but we know that you're lying. And we know you're lying because you're still fucking here. See? You're the one that's I mean, this ass clown's so butthurt, I bet that shit glows in the dark. Just say it. Just say it. The way it is. Anyway, so but I mean, everybody, so Israel has what, like a 10% tariff or some 12%, something like that on our goods. But Trump slapped him with 17%, which is he didn't do that to anybody else, right?
It's arguable. The way that they did the tariffing, China also got a pretty high tariff versus what
again. China has kind of pissed Trump off by constantly seeking or taking an aggressive stance against Taiwan, and every meeting that Trump's had with China has been, hey, you guys need to back off of Taiwan. They keep saying that they will, and yet they don't. And so what does he do? He fucks them up. That's what he does. I mean, it's literally that's what he does. It's exceedingly consistent with his stance. Gonna read the super chat. I'm sorry once again. I look. You have to bear with the interruptions. I'm sorry.
No, do your thing.
$5 comes in from Mr. Boulay in the Department of Numismatics. From the mountain to the lake, Mr. Trump will make Greenland great. That's pretty fucking good. I like that. That's good. That's pretty fucking good. That's cool. Pretty fucking good.
Red, white, and blue lens, sir.
Yeah. By the way, guys, keep those super chats coming. The grift must flow, and it's been a slow week. We got to get those numbers up a little bit if you can. Again, as always, if you can't afford to send any money in, it's been a bad month. The tariffs are getting you. Whatever. Don't send $1. But if you can, it does take money to run the channel. So please just help me out a little bit. That's all I ask. But only if you can. All right. So, but back to it. It's just really consistent, I think, for Trump to. I'm looking for. So what's bothering me lately? Tell me if you've heard this. The idea that Trump is being somehow inconsistent in what he does.
Mm-mm.
I think when you see that on CNN, it's like, oh, Trump, this first time Trump's ever did. Everything he does is like exactly what I expect him to do.
The way I was explaining it on a panel yesterday is Trump was a bull in the China shop for a lot of U.S. politics in his first term. Sure. And term 2, Trump is taking that bull in the China shop and doing a world tour with it. So like,
yeah, it could be, yeah.
And that's kind of what we're seeing here. I wanted to point out, this is all from memory. I haven't filled it in with actual citation yet.
Lauren, you can pay to kick people from the chat. I will even allow you to pay to ban a person from the chat, depending on who it is, obviously.
But India, Vietnam, Brazil, and several other countries have already reached out to Trump to try to make a deal to get rid of these tariffs that he just put in. So
absolutely. That's the thing, is that Trump understands that, yeah, we in America think it sucks because we really haven't had this happen to us before, where we put tariffs on other countries, but they don't realize that every country literally tariffs us. And some of them like horribly so. Like, I mean, like, I think the tariff on GM cars into Japan was something like 60 or 70%. Like, it was ridiculous, so one-sided. And I think the public at large, if you ask the public at large, literally nobody knows anything about tariffs. Lauren, I will allow Michelle to determine that amount. Michelle, it's all you. It's all you. So, so it's I just really feel like that with Trump, I know what I'm getting, right? And I'm starting to get that from Vance as well. Vance seems to be very consistent. So
real quick,
sure.
When it comes to South Korea, we've got a trade agreement right now, and they're sending hundreds of thousands. We're sending hundreds of thousands of cars to South Korea, U.S. cars, and that's all good. but we can only get about 4,000 to 5,000 into South Korea. That's not free trade. That's not fair trade. We've got to have a president who is going to advocate on behalf of American businesses, American workers, and I make no apology for that. Barack Obama, October 15th, 2008.
From her to her. He's got a bunch of alt names, so he'll be back in like 2 seconds. It's fine. Anyway,
I don't see why John Fetterman, Bernie Sanders, all these quasi-socialists aren't on board with these tariffs. This is like old school socialist policy that like
it really is.
Yeah, protectionists like it, socialists like it because they both get common goals out of this. So
yeah.
I don't see why they wouldn't be on board with this. More just everyone on the left hates Trump so much. They'd rather Trump outflank them from the left and steal the working class right out from underneath them.
Well, let's be honest. There's no way that anyone on the left is going to let Trump have any kind of victory. Honestly, I think it'd be the smartest thing they could do. I think the smartest thing they could do is the left get behind Trump and say, we got you, bro. We love this. It's socialism at its best. And the more they fight him, the more the policies that they actually would agree with get pushed and they're making Trump look like a genius.
If Trump got
they
something,
could steal his
yeah.
they could steal his thunder like that.
If Trump got something through the House and the Senate with just Democrat votes and the Freedom Caucus teaming up and skipping out the vast majority of the Republican Party, that would send some sort of a message. I'm not sure what one it would be, but yeah, that'd be something. That would be something interesting to see.
$4.99 comes in from Ben. Bring Jack on the panel. He always has so much to say, and he says he wants to on the panel. It's not really a panel, but I'm game. Come on up, Jack. Somebody get Jack a link. I will tell you though that most of the people, and as a matter of fact, both of the people currently having this discussion really actually know what we're talking about. So we read something other than, well, I mean, obviously nobody reads CNN, but anyway.
I have to stand up for CNN's online newsroom. There are some decent things they put out every now and then, but generally, yeah, I agree.
So just because the subject of tariffs is, so I think you've got, I think you probably got whoever that you're going to be going up against smoked, because it's really going to be, I think it's really pretty easy, really, to especially leftists. Leftists just keep coming back. Well, it's going to hurt the American economy, but the reality is I told you the other night, we really don't need anything from foreigners that we can't either get now or through other trading partners, and it's really and certainly. Sure, short term we might have some issues, but I'm not even seeing that. I honestly think that if we force the tariffs off of the products in other countries, it's going to lower the cost of everything else, and it would be really interesting if American manufacturing jobs actually came back. By the way, I have a little bit of personal gain here because I'm looking at buying a company that supplies tooling to manufacturers. Michelle wants to know if she can pet the dog. I'm positive you can if you were in Georgia or Texas or wherever the hell he's from.
Oh, come on up, buddy. Gotta pet that dog. I don't know.
What's up, seriously, Shelby? Good to see you, sir. Good to see you. Good to see you.
I forgot what I was going to say.
That's all right. So, what do you think about the idea, and this is something that you should bring up in your debate if it becomes an actual debate. What do you think about the guys that are they need the link so that they can send people. What do you think about the U.S. economy becoming more manufacturing than service centered?
I think that's a pretty tall order. So what we're seeing right now is that $5 trillion promise that Trump keeps talking about. We've got about $3 trillion of it either in the process or coming in already. Like the deals are already done and the process is moving. They're doing speculation on land, and Lee Zeldin's rushing people through the EPA. They're basically doing Project Warp Speed, but they're doing it for all these new multi-hundred billion dollar investments coming in. Apple's doing 200 billion, fucking that Taiwanese chip plant's doing 500 billion, et cetera, et cetera. So I think if they can get that pumping very quickly, it doesn't matter if the tariffs stay or go from other people. Our manufacturing here is going to ramp up so fast. I don't know if it's going to be in time for the midterms though, and that's the really big challenge.
Sure, I think midterm. I don't think we can do it for the midterms. I think we can probably, Mr. Boulay, that's fine. I don't think we can get done for the midterms, but I'm looking more globally. This is what I see is that if we can actually force the manufacturing back into the U.S., not really force it, but lead it back into the U.S., which is kind of what's going on. If that can take root and then move, Project VOPod is rating us. Awesome. Good deal. So if that happens where we become more of a manufacturing center again, right? Now here's the thing. Did you know, I think you probably do, but you may not, that even as much as we've gone into tech and service industries and soft industries like that, even with all of that, America is still the #1 manufacturing country in the world.
Mm-hmm. Our economic output's up. Yeah, our output's up on manufacturing every year, even though we're shedding jobs because of technological advances. But I don't it's a tall order. We're at 83% service sector right now, I'm pretty sure. And being between creative and labor, that's only, I think right now you're talking about 11% of jobs are in manufacturing or something real small at that point. To go all the way back to where it's the large.
I don't think it's going to be the largest.
Yeah, I don't think.
But here's what. Follow along with my logic and tell me if you can poke holes in it. So right now, technology in manufacturing is at an all-time high, and so the more technology that we put into manufacturing, where we can have these smaller manufacturers, that and we're people are we're talking like all kinds of like deposit manufacturing, whether it be metal or plastic, so 3D printing in metal or plastic, the CNC machining, CNC welding, all sorts of robotics, even in food processing, in basically everything. You could have actual sterile food processing from slaughter to packaging, where there's literally almost no way that contaminants could be introduced. We could get rid of a lot of our a lot of the things that they put in our foods to stable them, just because there's no humans involved, right? But obviously there has to be an army of service people to take care of these machines, or it have to be, there's a lot of other. I think people often think that machines actually cost jobs. When I personally think that the more automated we get, the more jobs are created, because even though you've eliminated 3 people from having to assemble something, and now it's one robot. That robot has to be carried by 4 or 5 people, right? Which is, and it's a less arduous, less dangerous job.
But yeah, a technician gets paid more. You're looking at like
the programmers get paid more.
Python programmers that work with AI, absolutely. I know basic Python. I'm a Java programmer, but I could jump into Python, probably learn how to program AI in 6 months, and jump right into that.
Sure.
So yeah, absolutely, and those jobs are going to create. I don't think we're losing jobs overall, no matter what. Even if we're not talking about technological advances, we're losing jobs. We're going to be bringing in less manufacturing jobs that will be replaced.
That's what we need. Yeah, that's why we need to reshore these jobs that we've offshored. Plastic injections, right? Like we buy a lot of the things that we buy that are injection molded are molded overseas because the EPA is determined that you have to. It is such a high standard to meet. The lads are angry.
Oh yeah, she doesn't like when he fucks with her. Leave your sister alone.
So when we reshore this manufacturing, that creates more jobs, even with and the technology thing is what people argue about. And I think one of the best things that Trump's done is he suspended the ability of the EPA to fuck around with manufacturing and production, right? So he basically said, "Hey, you can't do. The EPA can't tell you that you can't use this process anymore because, right?" So, so that's. I mean, what do you poke holes in that?
A lot of it I agree with. I would say that part of the focus, though, and what we're seeing is it's not so much when we tariffed China for the first time, it wasn't so much driving the manufacturing here, it was driving it to surrounding nations. China's minimum wage has been rising. I want to say they're the highest minimum wage in that part of Asia at like $4.40 last time I looked. This is maybe a year ago. So their minimum wage rising with us tariffing them has seen manufacturing leaving. Now, it's not at an extremely alarming rate yet, but it's still happening. COVID's also contributing to that as well. What Trump made very vocal is he wants to punish China, and this is the long-term plan to get there, decouple our economy from them, and then we can punish them for all the intellectual property theft, manipulation of currency, and all those things. That's the only part I'd add to what you're saying, though. Otherwise, I generally agree with what you just put down.
So I think it's a bad road to go down with the idea that intellectual property is theft because China doesn't view it that way, and just because we do, that becomes us trying to force morality on somebody who just doesn't believe in it. They don't even understand. Like, people don't understand the Chinese and other cultures. They're not the only ones. Don't even they have no concept of IP, and IP is one of those things that's if you talk to Fabian Liberty about it, man, he will have a lot to say about IP.
Yeah. I think it's an inconsistency for libertarians, but for communists, I absolutely understand why they don't want people to have property rights over intellectual property. But
sure,
to me, like building a program on my computer is the same thing as building a house outside. You're literally putting your work, effort, time, skills, expertise into it. Sure. You should have. And a lot of it's original ideas, like the people we use to do our uploading to like Facebook websites and whatnot. The page of code that they sell us, it's copywritten, is like it's fantastic. You can transmit 4K quality HD like nothing. It won't even overload systems at all. It's great. We can live stream full movies to 1,000 people with ease with one server and shit like that. So. Right. I think advancements like that, you start telling people that's not worth something, but the Chinese, they know what we mean by it. They just don't respect it. And we can't force it on them. You're 100% right. We can't police them. They're not under our jurisdiction. Mm-hmm. So all we can do is just say, you know what? We're just going to go fucking trade with somebody else. Kiss our ass.
Right. Well, and this is actually an interesting point with China and trade. And that is that I don't know how much it really hurts China's economy if we don't trade with them, because we are a very small part of their economy. And so, and I think Trump knows that. I think Trump's smart and he can do math. And so if the reality is that he gets China visually. If visually it looks like he forced China to cut ties with us, I think that really pulls America along. You know what I mean? Hey, thank you, Kissy Cat, for gifting 5 memberships. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Did I buy a gold card today? I did not buy a gold. Why was there a reason to buy a gold card?
I think they dropped officially today. Apparently the administration's saying they've sold well over 1,000 of them already, so they're up to $5 billion. That's good.
So you know that one of the ways that
your audio just cut out on me.
The thing on the screen.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. And it's going to keep going because they just did a bunch of them. So, so anyway, pardon me. So, if Trump can make it look like he stood up to China and China just basically takes their ball and goes home, that's a huge win for him. Right? Even if it's just partially. And so I think this is something that he's really pushing for, and I think he understands it. So yeah, I don't know that. So the idea that we're going to hurt China is fallacious, I think.
They have the power to hurt us much, much more than we have the power to hurt them. And I think that's something Trump was concerned about and brought up. They own the largest amount. I think they own 8% of our national debt. That's the largest amount of any country. And a lot of it's in bonds. If they decided they wanted to sell our bonds back to the market, undercut our government's bond price, they completely undercut the Fed being able to regulate our currency. They could crash our dollar. So as Trump decouples from them, they are our entire export economy. If we stopped exporting tomorrow, 11% of our economy. We still have pretty much 90% of it going, and the lack of imports will probably get for that as well. I guarantee half of that shit's gone. Only about 5% of our economy will fall off at the end of the day once the markets parse it all out. But China, at 17% of their economy is based off of our economy is based off of Chinese imports.
Right. Which is, I think, one of the reasons why we're trying to repatriate that. Now,
we need to do
they say that what they don't. What 17% includes all of the iPhones. But here's the thing: Apple would move production to South Korea like that. It wouldn't even be like you wouldn't even miss a shipment of iPhones. So this is an interesting thing. The thing about them owning the debt is that's something that they really. So this is actually honestly where Trump has them by the balls, because that debt is very carefully structured, and if they try and call it, Trump just goes, "No, we're sticking to the deal." And the worst, the best the Chinese can do is go, "Well, fucking keep it then." Right? Like they don't really have any choice. But that's the one weak spot in what you just said, because the reality is that they can't call that anytime they want to. That's very specifically structured anytime a country does. And if they try and break it, then the worst thing for China to do really is to say, "Hey, no, I want all that money now because I want to leverage this debt against you." And all Trump has to do is say, "Nope, you violated the contract by doing that, and now I don't ever have to pay you back."
That's true. Yeah, because they would be reselling them on the market and to undercut us. Yeah, I don't know what the contract looks like. I've never looked at it, but I'm
sure it was done by pretty sharp people.
That's
probably. But then again,
not.
We are talking about politics, so who knows? But my guess is that the reason Trump hasn't seemed to care about it is because he doesn't care about it. Right, and he's sharp enough to know where that line is. So, at any rate, well, I just really feel like that. As far as this is actually a good discussion on tariffs. Most of the time, the left typically relies on, well, top economists say that tariffs will hurt us. And that's their discussion. That's the entirety of their argument. And they'll cite some numbers and, some data from some weird off the shelf source. Where I prefer to talk, as you may have noticed, I prefer to talk about the reality of things and the way things actually are currently happening. That dog's really annoyed that you're not paying attention to it.
He is a blue healer. They don't have an off button.
Kind of the same way.
So he's just playful. That's all. He's not hurting anybody. But yeah, I mean, I forgot what I was going to say because we started talking about the dog. Damn it! This is what happens when I smoke.
Yeah.
I thought we were getting a third person too to come on as well to chat with us.
Oh, Ben was coming up. I don't know. He may have lost interest.
Oh, I got it. So there is a secondary bond market. You can resell, and oftentimes bonds do sell multiple times. Other countries use our bonds to regulate their currency as well.
Well, the IMS does that, right? Yeah. So that's one of the ways that's one of the things we talked about the other night in our debate. One of the points I made, I'm not sure that you were alert enough at the time to know what I was talking about, but the IMS does that specific thing to put by selling and reselling U.S. bonds that are held by nations to artificially deflate other people's currency against the United States currency, and that's actually something that really needs to stop. So Arthur Dye wants to know any comment on how we're calculating this effective tariff rate based on trade imbalance. It seems a bit screwy. Actually, it's actually really straightforward. If another company tariffs our goods, let's just and it's reciprocal, right? So let's say they're tariffing textiles at 10%. Then and we buy textiles from them. If we then buy if they're buying wool from us to make the textiles, or they're buying whatever, then we tariff them 10%. So they effectively cancel each other out. And with the exception of Israel, Trump sent a message to Israel by where they were tariffing us 10 or 12% on American goods that came in. Trump slapped them with a 17% tariff, with that extra 7 to 5% being a fuck around and find out fee for breaking the ceasefire. So, which, by the way, did you see the response? Netanyahu was all over Twitter, where he wrote, "Hey, sorry, we've dropped our tariffs, we've done this, done that." Beth Mayhew, why are you running off? Why are you leaving so early? You just got here. Sit down.
No, I'm looking at what you're talking about right now. I didn't actually look into this because that's a good point for my argument as well. Israel dropped it.
Yeah, Israel. Netanyahu dropped the American tariffs. Invasion. The grift calls.
Yeah. Wow. Canada, Israel, India, Vietnam, Mexico all said this week that they dropped tariffs. Yeah. And then Brazil also is talking about it as well. Nice. That's more countries to add to the list.
Yeah. And Netanyahu actually apologized to the he didn't really. I think he did apologize. I don't remember the tweet. You'll have to go back and look on Benjamin Netanyahu's Twitter and find the tweet where he talks about it. It's really good.
Did he say thank you?
I'm assuming he said I don't know. I don't know what he said. But yeah, it's an interesting thing with the that damn Wilson. Now look, I like the Twitter invasions too, or the X invasions. I like them too, but I can't really do it. Is this a debate prep for Tyler? It kind of is. So
I'm just throwing some ideas out there, so just getting responses. Like, I just like to hear intelligent responses to things. Gets me thinking. It's more of a brainstorming session in a way.
Yeah, well, I mean, I like to have good discussions. So it's something cool.
But yeah, I'll send you this. It's at 3 trillion, a little over 3 trillion right now, and they're crushing.
I think he can get to 5 trillion, but I think and sorry, I got sidetracked. But basically, I don't think Trump. I really don't think Trump he's talking like he's going to accomplish all this stuff in this term. I don't think he thinks that. What I think he thinks is he's going to set all this up so it's just nothing but win. It's win, 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 win all the time. And then when it's time for the election, he's going to hand it off to Vance. You watch. I think after the midterms, you're going to see Trump coming out saying Vance has done this, Vance has done that, Vance has done this. And so they tease Vance up to continue Trump's work, assuming that Vance is going to play ball. Now, a lot could happen in 2 years. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But because that's after the midterms is when I expect to see this ramp up. Arthur Daya is questioning me. So let's say I bought $1,000 of products from Grid and he bought nothing from me. Would we call that a 100% imbalance, and Grid would slap a 50% tariff on anything I import to him?
Mm-mm.
No, they're talking about when they say trade imbalance. They're my best understanding of it is it's a percentage. It's a percentage based of American or other goods brought into the country. And it really only it's really only affected if the reciprocal means reciprocal, right? So if you're tariffing my goods at 10%, then anything I buy from you, I'm going to tariff at 10%.
And it's also an oversimplification because you're both American citizens. So him buying something from you means that money's circulating, the velocity of money in the United States.
If I'm talking offshore, Arthur Daya says they're basing it on trade imbalances. But I mean that would be a trade imbalance is something that's being tariffed at 10% by definition. Right? It doesn't matter. It's not like I sell you 1,000 widgets, right? And you sell me 2,000 widgets, and that's a trade imbalance. The trade imbalance would be I sell you 1,000 widgets for $1,000, and you sell me 2,000 widgets for, $500. And you don't tariff my $500 worth of widgets, but I do tariff your $1,000 worth of widgets. That's a trade imbalance.
But another thing I like thinking about here, I don't know if I'm going to use this as an argument, but Apple is putting $500 billion into plant in Detroit, where they're going to, or plant in Texas, where they're going to hire 20,000 workers, but they're going to build an academy in Detroit to train people to work at the plant, so they can have people up to speed, ready to go. If that somehow revitalizes Detroit, and investment from Trump's tariffs somehow rebuilds Detroit, that would be something.
Do you mean actual Detroit or Detroit as in the auto industry? Because I think most automotive manufacturers are locating in the South now.
No, this is Apple's chip plant. They're going to be putting an academy.
Yeah.
They're putting an academy in Detroit to train people to work in Texas.
So I know the guy who set up the Apple manufacturing plant in China. Like I know that guy. We hung out. I could message him right now. So he set that up, and he said they tried to set it up in Vietnam, but they just didn't take. And then they tried to set up the iPhone plant in China, and they said the first ones they couldn't push the chips in right, and they were bending pins, and basically they had like a massive failure rate. And they ended up buying a machine to do it, and also training a bunch of people up. And it took a long time to get it to work. But in China, it actually worked because the people were really good at manufacturing machines, and they almost brought production back to the U.S. just based on the failure rate of the iPhones that were going through there. Let me read this. Detroit's been slowly moving up. Huntington Bank, Rocket Mortgage already invested in.
Oh, that's good.
That's interesting.
So another thing I'm also seeing on the world stage that's just kind of interesting is Trump is pressuring. He is expanding our natural gas. Japan's investing. They're saying they're going to import more natural gas than they ever have from the United States. And with Europe, right now, in order to get Russia on board, he's threatening to fully sanction their oil in a way that we haven't yet, because there's so much oil and gas going into Europe. If we fully hit them with 100% sanctions, Europe would get hit with those very hard as well.
Well, that's why Germany's been really quiet this whole time, right? Because and remember now, Germany's president or whatever the leader was, she stood up there and said, "I don't care about that Russian oil," or whatever it was. And then, of course, they're still importing it. This pipeline hadn't gone anywhere. All right. So Arthur Dye says, for example, the Trump chart claims Canada imposes a 200% tariff on the U.S. dairy, but that's not the real tariff charge if you import. The chart is based on our imbalance because we don't import much dairy. But wait, okay, but so are you saying that Canada imports a lot of our stuff and they put a large tariff on it, or are you saying that we? I mean, I'm maybe I'm not understanding here. What's up, Anson Knowles? You want to jump up? You can jump up. This is a good discussion for the chairman. Oh, wait, fuck, I fucked up. I want to see that.
I do only got about 25 more minutes. I told the fiance 10:30 we can watch a movie.
Well, she knows 10:30 really means midnight-ish, 1 o'clock.
Tiberius said you sound based.
Who's Tiberius?
He used to be a streamer. Now he's just a pretty intelligent dude that I bounce a lot of ideas off of. He's in my Twitch chat, or was at one point.
Oh, you're restreaming on Twitch?
Yeah.
Sweet. I used to stream the Twitch, but all I got was these stupid people want, I'll promote your channel, and I'm like, I don't care anything about Twitch. I'm too old for Twitch, basically. Yeah, Canada imports a lot of our dairy and they tariff U.S. milk, which puts our dairy farmers at a disadvantage, but it's not a 200% charge. Okay, so maybe Trump's pissed at him. I don't know. Have I had Prometheus on lately? I have not. Who's Prometheus?
So
that guy.
There was also an update with Canada, the fentanyl tariffs against Canada. The Senate voted 51-49 to say that there was no fentanyl state of emergency to the northern border, and that.
Wait, what?
Yeah, yesterday they voted.
Who voted that?
Mostly Democrats. There were 4 Republicans, the 2 moderate women, McConnell and Rand Paul.
What the fuck is McConnell doing, man?
I don't think he knows.
Jesus.
But yeah,
all right, here we go. Angel Berber, Arthur and I, not true. The 250% on dairy hits after we hit a soft cap of tariff-free dairy imports from Canada. Once we hit that soft cap, it skyrockets to 250% or more. Okay. I had not read that, Angel. I need to read more. However, as my guest just said, Canada is dropping their tariffs against us.
They said they will.
How many countries now?
6 countries I've counted so far said they will drop their tariffs or already have. Israel already did. Canada said they will if we do. So did Mexico.
Yeah, I don't know what's up with McConnell, man. Like, do you remember when McConnell was like, and he was never full blown right, but he was like middle right.
So I noticed you got McCain, you got Ryan, you got Boehner, all these like dudes that were like representatives for the party. As soon as they leave, they spike the football on their way out and like kind of screw the Republicans over on something they pretended to care about the whole time. So
that could be it.
Especially McCain. McCain spiked the football the hardest when he ran on getting Obamacare out and going back to the old system, and then wouldn't sign off on skinny repeal, which only got some of Obamacare out. That's crazy.
Right.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, dude, I know that's bullshit. We all know it's bullshit. We all understand that it's bullshit. That's why I was incredulous, because it's bullshit.
I loved Obamacare until I started making enough to where I don't qualify for it anymore. Now I want that shit to
You were
go.
one of the guys. You were one of them. You were one of the guys. I was always, I was over here and be like that. None of that sounds like a good idea to me. But all you people who are getting it now, when you actually start making money and you can't get it, you're gonna be really pissed. And
it helped a lot
when
when I
they
was
killed all the Cadillac healthcare plans that people got used to. Oh my God, man. I've never heard such wailing and moaning and sighing, the lashing.
And then, it was only 5% of people, which is like 1% is 3.3 million people. So that's like almost 20 million people you just pissed off and then hand waved off that are all friends with somebody or family members.
Can you medically relieve McConnell? Can you go do us a service as a doctor? Hey, doctor lady, go do a thing so that we can have peace and quiet without McCain. Yeah. So what? McConnell. Maybe it's just the fact they have a Mac in front of their name. Maybe that's it. If you have a Mac in front of your name, you're probably a douchebag.
Paul Ryan did it too, and so did John Boehner. John Boehner is now a big weed advocate as well, which is kind of interesting to see because he was pretty tough on crime when he was in the House.
Well, tough on crime doesn't necessarily mean that you're tough on weed and shit.
Yeah, they a lot of times go hand in hand though, especially with the Republican Party. But yeah, you're right.
Mitch McConnell doesn't smoke crack. Well, he probably should. Ron Paul fucked it up too. How did Ron Paul fuck it up?
He's an ideal. You know what? I like the fact that the Republican Party allows in somebody that completely disagrees with them because he's so right wing. I kind of like it personally, but yeah, he kind of screws up shit for them.
Yeah.
What else?
Michelle says, "Let the weed go."
I'm gonna eventually. She's a big weed head. It's fun. I'm getting too old and I cough a lot now and I can't handle my weed like I used to. So
he can't handle his weed like he used to. Do you hear that, Michelle? Did you hear that? Can't handle the weed like he used to.
420, there were 7 people. All of us brought an ounce. We almost had a half a pound of weed. We smoked it all in one night. Now, like $10 worth will put me out for a day. So
I've never smoked pot. I've never smoked, period.
You're not missing too much. It's just, makes boring less boring.
Michelle, traitor. Oh, that's funny.
Hey, once you start to get closer to your 40s, you'll be like, this isn't what it used to be. I don't know. I'm over here smoking still, so don't hate too much, but I don't know, that's all the points I kind of really wanted to run by to you as well.
Yeah.
We got everything out for the most part. I'm just gonna keep rubbing it in their faces that like 1% of small businesses participate in global economics. 99% of small businesses do not have the infrastructure or the money to do this. It's just large companies making tons of money. This is what is driving economic disparities. And if you care about shit like that, why would you want to continue the fucking system that's doing it? Like, I don't get it.
So I got to be honest with you. That's a reasonable take, but let me kind of help you fine tune that in a little bit. So one of the things that I would be very careful of is this idea that only big corporations would be effective, because it's the reason that big corporations are important is because they can produce things in a large enough quantity that they become affordable.
Oh, I get it.
Without these things being able to be affordable, then the way within which we've come to live suffers.
Oh, absolutely.
So that quality of life statement, that's a big thing. But here's the reality of it. If you remove the incentive for people to make these widgets in every other freaking country, then and keep them here, well, then they're cheaper because shipping is less. They don't have to order things 6 months in advance to have them made, and then nobody wants it anymore. And that, so once you pull the loss factor out of business, then now all of a sudden, prices can come down there too. There's a lot of factors that people really don't understand and don't talk about when it comes to if it were made here. And this is the thing that's always the question. This is how I trip literally everyone up is, but what if it was made here? So let's just talk about I don't know. I'm trying to think of something that almost everybody buys that's made in China. Light bulbs, right? What if the EPA regulations were structured in such a way that wasn't so punitive to American light bulb companies, and they could make them here? And not only are they paying people, and they're paying people a fair wage, whatever that is, it could be $20 an hour, it could be $28 an hour, I don't know what the fuck it is. But let's say that they made those here, and they didn't lose a bunch of them in shipping. Their packaging costs could be lower because they didn't have to spend 6 months on a boat or whatever in a warehouse, and then a week or 3 months or whatever it is on a boat. I don't know how long it takes for those fucking container ships across the ocean, but whatever it is. What if it were made here? What if those companies could reduce cost by making things here? And that changes the entire argument.
It does, but I think that if you're going to look at that, you have to look at how they're going to save more money overall. The largest expense generally out of most businesses is not their materials, it's generally your labor. And if you can reduce your labor cost by 90% by just increasing your shipping cost overseas, you're right, there is loss. You're right that there's going to be problems with orders. People probably are generally going to save money on those ends. I just don't think it's going to make up the difference in the amount of wages. Even if we ramp up production here, where we can get Walmart makes 1 penny off of every dollar they bring in, and as they output more, it's that's some propaganda. I know people that deal with Walmart, and they make a lot more than that. Generally, Fortune 500 companies generally make less than 3 cents for every dollar they bring in. Usually you upscale to a point where
they do that because they're admin heavy.
Yeah. And
right?
I totally get that. I'm not knocking on that. I just don't think if I'm arguing against anti-Trump Democrats that they're going to go that deep into that, because then
I don't think you have to go that deep.
Yeah.
All you really have to say is that why do people make things overseas? Well, it's because of the difference in cost of wages, right? Because our money is, we have to pay people here a lot. But the reality is that more and more things are being reshored than ever before, because it's not only cheaper, it's also just better for our own economy. And businesses, the motivation to make something in China is not there for most companies. The reason a lot of things get made in China is because China makes them and then sells them to us. So it's not necessarily an American company that is like, for example, a few years ago, a lot of years ago, like, it was like not 20 years ago, probably 15 years ago. I was going to have I owned an automotive shop, and we were going to have our own label of engine components, pistons, connecting rods, valves, that kind of thing. And we looked at having them made here in the U.S. And it wasn't out of the question to have them made here in the U.S. Then we looked at having them made in China. And I went to Shenzhen. I toured the factories. To be honest with you, if I only went by the factories and the people, I would have 100% had them made in China. The factories were all clean. They were modern. Every single employee was in a uniform. It's so different that it's crazy. I would go to a U.S. factory and they were still using, outdated equipment. The people were wandering around in fucking David Lee Roth t-shirts from from 1984, which should be in a fucking museum. But bastards like wearing this iconic t-shirt to fucking, work in a factory. The hell, man. Hopefully it was a reprint, but you never know. But at any rate, it's just a different environment. And what prevented us from doing it, to be honest, was the amount that they wanted us to pre-buy. It was crazy. It would have been cheaper for us to do smaller orders here in the U.S. than to buy offshore.
That's interesting, actually. But a lot of the problems with the factories that you're talking about is unions. The dock workers threatening to shut down the entire East Coast.
Over modernization.
I was fucking... Imagine if a corporation did that. Right. People will be running around with their fucking hair on fire on the left. And when a fucking union does it, they're like, yeah, you go, girl. It's fuck you.
Right.
That's fucking crazy. But yeah, the reason why our wages here, besides the inflation of currency, obviously, is climate regulation, worker protections, consumer protections. So any left-winger that argues we should just skip all those things so I can save money on my cell phone is arguing trickle-down Reagan economics to me. And it's like, you're not arguing the left-wing position here. You're arguing the right-wing position so you can win the debate. And that's just, to me, a slam dunk.
Yeah. So there are two things. My chat says shipping is part of my autism. From China to the U.S., it's about 15 to 25 days. Thank you for the $5. K2, keep on trucking. Really appreciate that. And Kevin's a small businessman. He knows what's up. Part of what drives manufacturing out of the U.S. to begin with was labor costs, unionization, and government regulations. None of that had been solved. None of that has been solved. So why is it going to magically be great here again? Well, that's ironically exactly what we're talking about here is the way that it gets solved is businesses are getting smaller and they're not being unionized. And the unions are fighting against modernization because they know that businesses don't need them once they do that. Like they need a bigger staff, but they need a staff that's not going to buy into the union mantra. And the third thing about the EPA, Trump, that one EO that he sent out saying that the EPA cannot interfere with manufacturing and production is gold. Like, and that needed to have been done a while back, honestly.
So I just want to put out there two of the three things. I don't remember the third thing he named off, but two of those three things have been solved. So Trump not only is bragging about how many regulations he's shedding off the federal government, but the Republican Party has been using the Congressional Review Act, I think of 2004 or 1994, one of those 4 years it came from, to go through and start gutting out regulations. Trump passed 2 executive orders to make it so public companies and public people can go and actually challenge regulations and bring them in front of a Senate hearing or a House hearing, all sorts of shit like that to allow regulations to be worked on. And then as far as unions go, unions have been disappearing. They used to be almost a third of our labor market decades ago, and now they're about 7% of the private market right now. They mostly are still empowered in the public sector, police, teachers, fire departments, shit like that. In the private sector, they're about out the door as far as they can be. So,
yeah. So, I mean, I wouldn't say they're solved, but forward motion has happened. Right. So.
I don't know if I want them solved. Again, I like some ideas of smaller
I know you
unions.
like the idea of a union. I know you do. I can just tell that you do. I think unions are just terrible ideas. I think that management, the idea of worker versus management is so Marxist. I just can't even get. I can't get there, man. Like, whatever.
It's just bargaining power. It doesn't have to be adversarial. You're on the same team. You're all coming to the same conclusion. It's just bargaining.
But no, absolutely. That's absolutely wrong. If you've ever been to a union meeting, you would know that there is no we're on the same side here.
No. Those are nationwide. I feel like unions got too big for their britches and are now on a federal level pushing too hard. Right to work states. I am against non-right to work states. I think being forced to pay dues is fucking un-American. But I do support there's smaller localized unions and smaller companies, and you see good results from shit like that, as long as they don't get too big.
Yeah.
That's all I'm arguing.
ZD Den says that's because leadership management in those sectors are still shit. ZD Den is from New Jersey. She minces no words.
You could be right. Maybe it's going to take those small unions getting busted up in the same way, but unions are getting hit. There only exist in a handful of states at this point. Like, I'm in Georgia where there's like all sorts of shit for union work to be at, and there's a lot of union people here. And my brother is a pipe fitter. He gets called out to blue states all the fucking time. He's always gone.
Yeah.
So, but he lives here. It's cheaper.
Right. Kissy Cat, you were in a car accident? When were you in a car accident? I call her Kissy Cat, by the way, because she has that OXXO bullshit, and I don't play that game. I just, it is what it is. It's having ice cream, which makes it better. That's not the way I deal with car crashes, but okay, go with it.
I don't know. At the end of the day, I hope these tariffs work out, man, just for my pocketbooks.
Well, I think they are going to. I think they're going to work out. I think the problem, my biggest problem is that the socialist in the current socialist that we have in office, especially the really stupid ones like AOC and some others, they're going to fuck it up, and that bothers me a lot. AOC, for some reason, really bugs me lately.
I think she's going, I guarantee in the next 4 years, she's going the path of the Rubio, and pretty soon you won't be able to tell her apart from the average Democrat. She dropped pronouns from her bio. She doesn't talk about $15 minimum wage, Medicare for all. She drops all that shit, and she's moderating out a lot. I watch her in the House hearings a bit. I guarantee you she's going to go the path of the Rubio because she wants to stay in office, because all of her compadres are getting kicked out one at a time.
Yeah, it's true. They went too far, man. They go too far.
Yeah, once you start attacking the Jews like that. But all right, I got to hit my out here.
You had to throw in that Israeli thing right there at the end. I like that. That's stylish, man. That's stylish. All right, man. Have a good one. Have a good one. It's good to have you on the show again. Try and be cool. And we're glad. Obviously, you need glasses, so wear your glasses if you need them.
Yeah, for sure, dog. Otherwise, if you're around WIC panel Monday, that's what I'm going to be crushing these motherfuckers. I should have this
on the WIC panel.
Yep.
Who are you debating them with?
Oh, I have on my team. Let's pull the DM up. So WIC is moderating, which means it's going to be WIC, Nonfon, and the Snail G against me and New York Shade. Because when WIC moderates, he's basically...
he's definitely on Nonfon. Nonfon's one of the ones I'm going to tell you right now. He's just going to beat you about the head with, but the economists say, I actually won't. So I was going to, I was going to debate him on Tariffs actually, and I was like, yeah, but he wanted to. I was like, at that point, I first of all, I don't think Tariffs are. It doesn't matter because they're going to happen, and you can debate whether they're good or not, but that's far too much perception. So anyway, it was.
I already know it. I know his favorite economists of several of them, and I'm already gathering quotes from them to hit him. I like Non-Fon.
I like him. I think he's a cool dude, and for the most part, he debates in good faith.
For his age, he is going to be good. He's 18.
Yeah.
When he hits like 26, 27, he's going to be so much better than like Destiny.
He's got to get out of that DGG thing, man. He's got to get away from Destiny's orbit.
He makes good points. He sees good holes in arguments, and he's good at researching. So he has all the necessary foundations. He just needs to grow up a little bit. So
yeah.
But all right,
have fun smoking Non-Fon into the dirt.
No, I like the
try and stay try and keep that weed intake to a minimum.
I don't smoke for debates like that.
Yeah. Well, you did during mine.
Well, it was getting a little later at night and whatnot for that, where I'm going to go, and that was fun. I had a good time for that.
You were toasted by the end, you were done.
But we also the questionnaire part. Once we got to that, I figured it was time to go wild a bit too.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, but no, that was a lot. I enjoyed the fuck out of that. That's exactly why I came to the internet. That was cool shit. That was like some of the coolest shit. I'm gonna tell my grandkids.
You can tell your grandkids. All right, well that's good, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Yep. Take it easy.
Well, we'll get out of here. Go get some sleep. Go watch movies with your fiance, and do adult things later.
All righty, I will. I will do just that. Take it easy.
All right, man. We'll see you. All right, guys. That's Silver Ogre coming out hard. I don't care if Non-Fon becomes a good debater. I care if he grows up and stops being a commie. You left off damn commie. That's okay. That's all right. Where'd everybody go? We had like 50 people in here, and we like lost half the audience. What the fuck? Yeah, pat the dogs. That's right. I am encouraging population growth. I am. Anson, did you grow the population any tonight, you bastard? Where is he at? Damn commie is redundant. That's awesome. Are you still here? We dropped like 20 people. What the hell? Or 25 people. What the hell, man? It's crazy. People become conservative as they start making actual money. That's when they start coming. Bro, that was Michelle, you need to come. You need to come up. Let's chat. Let's have a discussion. Come on up. I'm sure you've got the link. Ben, you never came up. Why did Ben not come up? You don't know who Non-Fon is? Well, he's like 18 or 19. Your throat hurts? I'm sorry. You didn't shower this morning? That's okay. That's okay. Yeah. Commies never grow up because they never have money. Ooh. I thought you were going to make some weird Russian front argument. Yeah. We're Not Men is no longer in the chat for some reason. I'm just flabbergasted. That's all. This is yeah. I know things about Anson that I didn't want to know. So you did him like my bird, but men can't fly. That's funny. Did he run out of did he finally run out of fake names to come in under? That was funny. It's always funny that he tries so hard to come in. He's such a it's so weird. So weird. Went to the Crucible. Dang it. Is the Crucible live? I haven't been paying attention. I've been busy talking. That was actually a really good discussion. That was a really good discussion. I actually really enjoyed that, you know. So yeah. Trying to reform your chairman? Yeah. Good luck with that. He's gone full degen. Full degen. I don't know why. I didn't do it. Is that a maybe? Commie points got wrecked hard. They kind of did. Yeah, the commies are not fun. Not fun people. What I'm tired of that, guys. You have to prime away from the big boob degens. Prime away from those big boob degens. That's what's up. So, yeah. Well, it is what it is. That's funny. That's very funny. You know, the interesting thing about that is he was never that cool. And I got to be honest, I hung that dude out way longer than I should have. Like, you guys don't know, I have more people pissed about We Are Not Men than anybody else that I even have on here. Like, they would literally, I kid you not, like, I'm not making this up even a little bit. I think every single female that came into this channel felt like We Are Not Men was rude and or picking on them or whatever you want to put at, but like had it out for them. Originally I thought that was just kind of, they were just kind of being kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for here? Overly sensitive, but no, that is a real fucking thing. And you can't believe this. Darwin, why don't you come up and we can talk about it? Somebody give Darwin the link. Charles Darwin gets a link. We'll talk about it. I have no problem talking about it now. I didn't, but I now no longer have a problem talking about it. He's always been a great age douche. I literally had women from the chat tell me that he singled them out, that he was rude to them, all kinds of bullshit. We'll talk about it. Yeah, he doesn't have any impact, which is funny. What's up, Uncle Fatty? Sick balls, Chopper. That's hilarious. That's funny as fuck. I like that. I will be glad to tell you I have no problem spilling the beans. I was actually you thought it was just a troll routine? No. And look, I'm not said anything about this. It was cool as long as it wasn't coming on the show. Obviously now, first of all, I don't really give. So, um, and those of you who have paid attention will understand that. DD Den, right? You thought he was joking, but I had multiple people tell me when he was a mod for me that they felt like he singled them out as women and made fun of them and was rude to them and all kinds of other bullshit. And I'm roboting a little. I'm sorry. Charles, you have to go to Discord to get the link. I'm just picky that way. I'm sorry if my audio is crap. Did I fuck it up? Well, let me fix this really quick. Yeah, let me see. Is my audio better? Anyone? Bueller? Bueller? Seems to fit. All right, cool. All right, so I don't use StreamYard EOD. Anyway, so we'll get into the Are We Not Men thing. Let's get Mr. Darwin a link. No Discord. You know what? Mods, drop the link for Darwin only, and then delete it, please. So, Kissy Cat, you're not a dude. Kissy Cat has big boobs too, from my understanding. I don't know who gave me that understanding, but somebody did. I forget who it was. Maybe it was probably fucking Beaten Cheeks. Which, by the way, that fucker hasn't been on this show in a long ass time. I got to get Beaten Cheeks on. I've got to get Beaten Cheeks on CT. That's what I got to do. I don't know. He says he's busy all the time. I don't know. He was running a business, and I think he had some staffing problems and things like that. Old Chuck D plays the long game. That's true. He actually texted me tonight. I'm going to text his ass back. Let me It's funny when people send texts to the wrong people. It's hilarious. It's really funny when people text the wrong people. Very funny. This is true. That's true. Darwin, you ready? Michelle, he's ready. He posted a second ago. Let her when you've clicked it, I will tell her, and that'll be the end of it. So at any rate, guys, we're going to talk about He Is Not a Man. And it's too bad I can't get Glenn on. Glenn would really enjoy this. But that's okay. Probably. Just saying. Did you click the link yet, Darwin? Wade Boggs, Glenn is taking care of Thor. Thor had so you may remember last year the poor Thor had a cancerous tumor in his brain, and so they cut it out. And he was doing pretty good, and then cancer came back. And they had to go back in, and now he's basically it's a lot like dealing with a 5-year-old. He has to be basically taken care of the whole time. So, and it's a real bad thing, man. Yeah, our we are not men. He is not a man, not really a dude. So we're gonna get this ironed out. Yeah. So yeah, Glenn has been like he basically it was not, I mean, it's not funny at all. It was such a thing. Glenn, Michelle, and I had a whole series of these. Glenn, Michelle, and I had a whole series of this story arc that we wanted to do. We the first one kind of got jacked up, so we weren't able to really do it the way we wanted to. And then, like literally the next week, Thor needed Glenn, and Glenn's, Glenn is being awesome, taking care of his mentor. So, and we may get Glenn up here in a little while. Glenn's, but he's awesome. Welcome, Charles Darwin. How the hell are you, Charles? Charles, if you're having trouble with your sound, down where it says mute, there's a little arrow next to it. You click the arrow and then go up and select your microphone. He's not muted on my end, so he's probably just selected the wrong microphone. Charles, can you hear me now? All right. While we're waiting on Charles to figure this out, this is a great Darwin moment, by the way. Only the strong survive. Charles? All right. Anyway, yeah, Glenn is awesome. Yeah, I'll go full screen. There we go. Charles, when just speak and we'll hear you. Hey, John Mosman, how the hell are you? Good to see you in the chat, sir. Good to see you. You don't trust what, Michelle? Oh, yeah, I remember why you don't trust StreamYard. Never mind. I only use Streamlabs. Darwin, if you need help, post in the chat and we'll help you, bro. Yes, I'm this is on the job training. So, somebody's got to get paid. Oh man. How the hell are you, John Mosman? You doing okay? You're a bit lost? Okay. Again, Charles, Down at the bottom of your screen, you're going to see it's going to say mute, right? Next to it, there's a little thing that looks like an arrow. You click that arrow, and then it's going to bring up a menu, and you're going to go up and you're going to click your whichever microphone that you need to use. He could be muted on his end, but generically, when it's muted on his end, he'll figure that out pretty quickly. I don't know if he may be on a cell phone. Cell phones make it a little harder, but not by much. Come on, Charles. We're rooting for you. You had a cold front come through, Mosman? Oh, you're in Colorado. I remember that. I remember that you're in Colorado. I used to be in Colorado for like a long time. Teaching it to infiltrate by giving it specific instructions. I'm doing that. Auto adjust mic is 1 out of 3. You shouldn't have any auto adjust. Just click. You got to click the correct mic. When you see, the thing is when you talk, it should show that you're talking. The box will light up yellow like mine just did, but it's not. So you're not on the right microphone. So you have to pick the right microphone. So if you're on a cell phone, you have to pick that phone. You had something there for a second. Do whatever it was you just did. Like 2 things ago. Yep, there we go. Say something. Oh, it's gone now. Go back. There. I was just talking about you, G.
Yo, can you hear me?
Whoa. Dude, I had the volume turned up trying to hear Charles. What's up, Glenn Lawrence? How the hell are you?
I'm chilling, man. How you doing?
Are you on your cell phone, Glenn?
No, I'm on the new laptop. I haven't got everything hooked up to it yet.
I got you. I was just wondering because I need some tech support for Charles. Oh, Charles dropped. We were talking about Are We Not Men? Or We Are Not Men. I am not a man. He is not a man.
Why?
He who wants to be a man and yet is not.
I mean, why? Why make him relevant?
Well, he's been coming in the show. Obviously, he's not. Charles, it's cool, man. It's cool. It's were you on a cell phone, Charles? Were you on a cell phone? Cell phones can be.
Yeah, I'm gonna come on my
tricky.
phone. Actually, instead, be easier because I could hear you better.
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Your mic is
yeah,
awesome.
but I probably sound better with my earbuds.
Gotcha. Okay. You were on a PC? Well, it should have really worked. And the problem is you got to select that mic, and it can be a little noise. It can be a little weird. So anyway, Glenn's going to come in on his phone, I think, just so he can use his earbuds and not have to and not yell at his laptop. Because you look weird when you're yelling at the laptop. No, never buy a Mac, Wade. Never buy a Mac. Unless you're my wife buys Macs. If you're a girl, you can buy a Mac. But dudes, don't buy Macs. Don't do that. Wait, what? I missed something. I hate it when I miss things. Oh, you're talking about Charles. Yeah. Android all day, baby. That's right. Android's where it's at. Freedom. Glenn, are you still with us, or you switched over? He's switching over. That's okay. It's okay, Charles Darwin. All right, Charles. So I'm going to go ahead and start this, and then, there's Glenn. Glenn's back. There he is.
Yo, can you hear me?
Presto changeo. Absolutely, man. We hear you fine.
Cool.
So, We're Not Men has been coming into my chat the past week or so because obviously he's being so successful everywhere else. That's what he wants us to believe. And he's been just, he tries to be funny, which he fails miserably at. And then we, basically he's just trolls the panel tonight. Actually, if he had just done what he did last week, and where I kind of had some fun banning him, and then he went away. If he had done that, nobody would have cared. But this week, he kind of went after Michelle, and he brought up how he asked Michelle how that grift for Glenn was going, and I kind of stopped what I was doing. And I had to clarify for the people that were here what what he was trying to say.
Or what he was trying to imply.
What he was trying to imply, yeah. And so I kind of went, of course, I do me, right? So I was I basically I told the truth, Are We Not Men basically tried to, while he claims to make money for creators, he literally said in the chat that we just don't know whose channels he's on and making them all of this money and bringing in the grift for them, which I would think none, since obviously the only channel I'm aware of that he's a mod for is Jess's channel. And I'm not sure how well she's grifting these days. I don't know. I don't pay attention, and I don't care. That's her business.
Well, good for them. I hope it goes
yeah,
well.
good. I hope they're doing well, but it's none of my business, right?
Yeah.
So he didn't say anything about that, but that's it. But he did say that, we just weren't aware of all the channels that he was grifting for and doing a great job of it. I'm like, well, nobody cares.
Well, good for
because
him.
all you did here was trying to extort money from me, and then he tried to basically extort. It wasn't really extortion, but he was trying to manipulate, which I did use the term extortion, I think. Manipulate me by telling me that if I were platform certain people, then the crucible would turn against me, and I would be cast out, basically. And then he committed the unpardonable sin of changing his DMs and statements to me because he knew I was going to send that shit out. Because I already told, I questioned Andrew about it live. While Are We Not Men was there, and he obviously he went fucking nuts in my DM.
I remember that day. I was in Chicago when all that went down. I was at Pearl's house. Like I was on my flight. I was landing in Chicago when you confronted Andrew on, was it a Jake Veopod stream? Is that where it went down at?
Yeah, it was on Veopod stream. So, but it's one of those things where I just, it's really honestly, and look, I'm just gonna be like really bluntly honest. I don't give a fuck about Are We Not Men? We Are Not Men, whatever the fuck he goes by, right? This dude is nothing. I don't know why he comes to the chat. It's kind of
he comes to the chat to try to get a rise out of you.
Yeah.
And
I think it's fun. I mean, mostly. So here's the thing.
I know you just think it's funny.
I think it's funny, and tonight he even said, I think he told Charles Darwin that, I'm just having fun, or whatever. But then he turns around and makes that snide comment about Griff to Michelle, and we all know that he's the one. Or if you don't know, for those of you who don't know, Are We Not Men is literally told Michelle she was the reason that Glenn was not making money on his stream, and why his channel was suffering. Now that was completely a fucked up statement, because the reason that Glenn's earnings were suffering was he was taking care of people. It was Thor, then it was Pearl. Glenn was giving of himself and his time. That's why he wasn't making a ton of money doing videos and everything else.
I mean, there's other factors too, like
sure.
There's like people, snakes behind the scenes, that were working with the channel at some capacity, not liking the content, or they're saying that it's all degen or whatever they wanted to call it. They want to act holier than thou, and he was one of them that made his opinion known. And so when you are one of the top moderators of a channel, and you're telling everybody that you don't like the channel or like things, and you're deterring them from going to support the channel. And
I'm not sure that
plays the role.
Yeah, I'm not sure he did that.
Well, he told me he gave his opinion, that he stated his opinion to people when they asked him about the channel or whatever. And he just didn't like Michelle. He doesn't like Michelle, and that's fine. That's his prerogative.
Sure.
Michelle's not everybody's cup of tea. And he thought he was doing what his job was, but he never was. Grifting part is great. I'm more about the content. The money coming in is amazing. It's great when it's flowing like that.
Sure.
But at the same time, I'd rather have good organized content and a producer that knows how to work with me and knows how to fill in the gaps that I need them to fill, than have money coming in and me being confused and not knowing what we're going to be talking about, not having topics ready or guests aligned, and just being told to just wing it and go play it by ear. I don't do that. I try to run a production.
Right. Well, and all that aside, all of that's okay. That's somewhat judgment oriented, right? Maybe he was helping, maybe he wasn't. I don't know. I can't. My problems actually were the fact that he literally came to me and told me, and I think it was Imperious that I had up, that if I continued to platform Imperious and Michelle, and I forget who the fuck else I was platforming, that he didn't like. And he told me that, I wasn't going to get raids from Crucible. I wasn't going to get this. I wasn't going to get that. The Crucible. And I asked point blank. But it wasn't just that. I mean, that was bad. That's bad. But it was the blaming of Michelle, when obviously, Michelle had nothing to do with anything that was going on in your life. You were helping Pearl. You were helping Thor. You had your own health problems.
Pulmonary embolism.
You had your own health problems. You had the whole thing that blew up. So where was he when the whole thing blew up with Josie? Where was the guy who's supposed to be on your side doing the best of everything for you? Where was he? He wasn't
Oh, I don't
anywhere to
know.
be found. He was talking shit behind your back.
Oh, I know
This is
that.
why, look, Charles Darwin, you want the truth about this? The reason that it bothers me, and I look, Glenn's being a lot more kind than I will be because I give zero fucks about this guy. You
Well, to me,
can't
it's like,
go
I don't
behind a
care
dude's
either.
back and fucking stab him in the back when he's out helping other people, when he's doing the right thing. And it's the lowest kind of jackassery that I can even imagine to do that. And top that off with, as soon as I demodded Are We Not Men, I literally had women come to me and tell me that he made them feel uncomfortable in the chat. I had dudes come up and say, "Hey man, I'm glad you got rid of that guy," because he would just randomly kick me from the chat. How the fuck is that conducive to my channel?
Yeah, I mean, I from what I was told, like that's like a crucible thing, and I guess, I mean, if that works for them over there, that's great. But Crucible has thousands and of live members in the chat at any given time, so it's not going to affect negatively on that channel as much, and it's probably not going to go or get up to Andrew's position or Andrew's
he has no
ear.
idea. He has no idea what the mods do on the
Yeah, I mean,
Crucible
I think
because he's not one.
Well, he trusts Mr. E to do what, to run the mods and keep everything going according to his vision, right? So what they got going on over there, great, and it works for them. But I'm not Andrew, and my channel is not the Crucible, and
yeah, he was.
You can't,
I can see that, but it's
you can't
just
cookie cutter someone else's channel and take exactly what this channel does and then expect it to get the same result from another content creator in another channel who has a different style. It just doesn't work that way.
Yeah, and look, Glenn's being a lot kinder than I will be. I find this dude to be absolutely, he's a piece of crap. You can't, I mean, to say the things that he says and to be as literally twisted as he is, I just can't get to it. I can't get there from here because literally when Glenn was helping other people, this guy's talking shit about him behind his back. And that's not, honestly, I can't think of anything lower. That's why I have no respect for him. None. Zero. You guys wonder why I fuck with him as much as I do and kick him and I let the mods kick? You wonder why? That's why. And I don't do that with anybody else because I don't respect that guy at all. He's beneath contempt. He's I mean, from me, right? Now, you guys may think he's a great, wonderful human being. I understand that he's a mod for Jess.
Hey, and they got a good thing going for them, then that's awesome. I hope it continues to thrive. And
well, they just had a fucking big ass thing about her sending nudes everywhere, so it's probably not.
Oh well, I mean, I got brought into that fucking drama too. Don't bring that up. I'm trying to stay away from that. But I mean, hey, if they're doing well over there and they have a right vibe and like they're firing on all cylinders, then that's great. I wish them the best of success. Really, I do. I wish all my former coworkers or collaborators success.
What's up, CHD?
I'm not envious or jealous of anybody. I want people to be successful.
That link down when it was up for Darwin, didn't you?
Oh yeah, of course. Gotta be a little bit sneaky, man.
I mean, I was when it came to R&M, like I gave a lot of grace.
You're still giving him a lot of grace.
I still think I like to give people a lot of grace. I like to be. I want to be. I'm trying to lead by example, or
I'm the kind of person
to others that I want people to do unto me.
Yeah, I'm the kind of person that's different than you. So I'm sorry.
No, don't get me wrong. Like I could be. I'm very gracious and very nice and patient, but at the same time, I could fucking slit your throat and sleep very well. if I ever get pushed to that point where, okay, it's time to go ape shit, I'm gonna go ape shit, but there's gonna be a whole lot of opportunity for that to never happen prior to that ever taking place. It's not just, flip the script on a dime. It's like,
Sure.
a death by 1,000, concessions. And then finally, okay, here we are. Now you asked for it. But I want to be gracious to people. We should want to be gracious to people, you know?
Yeah.
So I really do wish them the best. Same thing with Rolo. Wish Rolo the best. Hope he gets some hair plugs, but wish him the best.
Yeah, I kind of do blame myself a little bit with the whole "Are we not a men" thing, because we as in me and Glenn were just growing his channel, and then when some guy from a Crucible raid got to come by and just try to like take over a channel, he was getting in a lot of super chats in for us, and so I assumed that since he was a longtime member of the Crucible, that he maybe knew what he was doing, and I really didn't know anything about like chats and content creation at the time, so. I just took him at his word and saying that he's like a part of Crucible crew, even though he never had a wrench. I can see why, and even banned from the Discord a couple of times by Mr. E. So I kind of blame myself about that, and I was getting a lot of complaints about all of this stuff, and I was probably just non-confrontational about it. So I don't blame myself for that.
Yeah, like
I wouldn't
wouldn't
blame
get.
anybody, and I don't want to spend the whole
I don't
show.
blame Siege. I don't blame Siege
Yeah,
for. I mean,
don't
I
blame
was not getting the message, from people that they were having such issues with my mod that with him at the time, and until like people started leaving. I mean, and like the most amazing Australian woman I know, Miss D.
Yep.
She sent me a private message telling me that she would, this was back in like August or something, that she would no longer participate in my chat because of Are We Not Men moderating, but she will support and the channel from a distance, but I won't see her in chat anymore. Like that really like bothered me, and I don't like the whole timing people out thing. My mods know not to time someone out unless like they check with me first, or unless somebody is saying some really TOS shit and
Yeah.
crossing lines. Like my mods know, like we're gracious to people, warn them if they continue, time them out, then go ahead and kick them for the night or whatever.
Well, I mean, what
But
happened with that though is that like when Bill Hicks and he found Glenn's channel just naturally because he's a good guy, but once the Crucible got raided over to your channel, that since he had a wrench, just because I wasn't there at the time to be able to handle a few of those black pill trolls, is that he was just playing with Are We Not Men when he got into come over, because apparently it's a thing over in other chats where they just practice they just time each other out. I was weirded out by that at the time, but same as Grid, I thought it was just fun and games, but turns out he was taking it too far.
and there was also times where some of the mods were like just banning people or kicking people or muting people for no reason other than the fact that another creator that they modded for had a problem with them, and they would bring that beef, carry that beef on over at my channel, and that's not acceptable. I had to talk to the guys, and Are We Not Men was one of
Yeah.
them that did that too. Like, because hey, if someone was beefing with Andrew, that's between them and Andrew on Andrew's channel.
Yeah.
This is my channel. It's a whole different channel, and until that person violates my rules, then they have the right to be in the chat and engage. It's this loyalty thing. It gets tainted. You could be loyal, but also understand that you can't abuse power either.
So I want to be really clear here. Look, I only bring this up to clarify. I only brought this up to clarify Charles Darwin's question earlier about why that he had apparently missed something. Apparently, I feel like he thinks Are We Not Men is a great guy, and was wondering why I was being so hard on Are We Not Men, and why I kind of called him out on all of his shit, and that's why he left, right? That, and he's probably, fleecing somebody else, saying what a great moderator and how much grift he's going to bring them.
Hey, and I hope that it works out. Like,
I do hope it works out, but
it
I'm not
never
holding my breath.
was gonna be a good fit long term for my channel, because I am not easily manipulated or swayed by super chats. Like, my content is more important than the super chats. Now, the super chats are great. That brings in revenue that allows me to do things that I want to do with that money, to bring other talent onto the show, or bring better equipment or guests, or travel and do shit, film shit outside of the studio. But and it allows me to pay for people's time, like I was paying him for the help that he was doing. I paid Michelle, for the help that she does. She's an employee, so like I pay her, right? And the money is great when it comes in and it helps out with that, but at the same time, not at the
there was no loyalty on his side. That was the problem.
Yeah, but I don't want money if I'm going to have to sacrifice the content.
Right. Well, and also
my view.
Yeah, but also the loyalty, right? Like,
oh yeah,
I'm not asking my mods to battle to the death for me or anything, but at the same time, you can't be hurting my channel claiming to help me. Angel Berber, what's going on? What is going on with these weird dramas springing up again? Another small wave. I just think it just, it's circular. It gets around. I avoid them as long as I can, and then I honestly thought Are We Not Men had just shoved off and wasn't going to bother us again, because right now I have great mods. Like, I have really good mods. I don't have a single complaint about any mod that I have. I think that everybody, they do legit, they do.
One thing that I was grateful for once me and my Are We Not Men parted ways was that my channel went from being believed to be a woman hating channel to women feeling comfortable having conversations and realizing I'm not hating on women, and I'm not, I calling out bad behavior on both men and women. Right. But unfortunately, for some reason, when he was there, the opinion from women was that my channel was a He-Man woman haters club, and that was never the case.
Well, again, unfortunately, that was the image he projected. Wicked Wally, we're not a pack of jerks. It's more of a horde or herd. We're a herd of jerks. Thank you. I appreciate that. And also, I saw something. My mods are really awesome. Thank you, Jack, for noticing that.
And one of the things, like, I challenged a lot is that, like, I wish we were able to, like, we're gonna have to redo the series again, because
I know
that we were talking about with Michelle and stuff before.
Yeah.
Because one of the parts that I really wanted to get to was this idea about what being degenerate means. And I've had conversations, and I've talked to priests, Orthodox priests, about this on streams.
We talked about that. Yeah.
And I have a video that shows that conversation. And, like, this, to label this thing degenerate as only in sexual context. But you know what? Being obese is degenerate. Being an alcoholic is degenerate.
Yeah. So much of it. Yeah, we really got it.
So many different levels of degeneracy. And to call somebody, oh, you're a degenerate. Well, guess what? We're all fucking degenerate. Because to some degree, we are not meeting the bar. I like dates.
Give me 1 sec. I just want to answer Old Joe. Old Joe, okay. I don't think he is tight with the Crucible. I think he portrays himself as being tight with the Crucible. But first of all, I'm in there a lot, and I never see his ass talking to anybody. So at best, he's lurking in DMs. And second, I know that Mr. E has a short fuse when it comes to Are We Not Men, and that's pretty much all. I don't need to say anything more about Are We Not Men. I do agree with Glenn. We need to, he and I need to get back on our arc when he has or reboot that arc that was kind of stillborn, because we barely got the first episode out, and then bam, Glenn had a lot of things
I
going on.
don't even think like the first episode was able, like, we didn't really have the first episode.
We couldn't because the people that were supposed to be there didn't show up. Yeah.
I also remember, Glenn, that when you got to discuss it with Father or Joseph Schwaden from NFTU Orthodoxy, that he had a really good definition of degeneracy, is that you're kind of like reverting back into your animalistic instincts to kind of run your life. In this case, with some air quotes degenerates, that they were relying too much on sexual pleasures there in that case. So all this stuff, it would be really good for this conversation that you guys can have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So what? Oh man, what? So Clovertack, how the hell you been? How the hell have you been for the last 36 hours?
That's what I was supposed to say. 24 fucking hours? What the hell, dude?
Nah, it's been like 36.
Nothing has changed. Ate some Mexican food. Found out finally, you know, the gun we were talking about, that the whole fucking postal service thing that should be delivered tomorrow. So
okay,
figured that out. That was great.
They canceled my kids' skeet and sporting clays tomorrow because of weather.
Yeah. Seems they were, it was coming y'all's way. It's a shit we've been getting for days. Ordered some sights for my 4570 today.
Yeah.
Well, for my Marlin 4570, I got to be fucking specific. But
was that your rifle that had all the leather work done on it, or was that a fan's? That's yours?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, that's my Marlin. That's my Marlin.
Old boys put some work in.
Yeah, it was all right. It wasn't bad.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Yeah. I got to get some sights for it. It's stupid to me having the sights in the middle of the fucking barrel, the rear sights, right? And having a 22-inch. What's the fucking point of having a 22-inch barrel if you can't take advantage of the sight radius, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's dumb. I don't understand that. So I'm putting a Skinner Express on it. Skinner sights make some sweet shit if you've got lever guns and some other things. So I'm putting receiver peep, and then I'll have to replace the blade because
are you putting it all the way up back by the stock, or are you putting it on the front of the receiver?
It'll be back at the back side of the receiver. Yeah.
I want maximum quickly down under is what you're doing.
Well, no, that would be like a flip up, aperture if I was going to do that. But so yeah, it'll be, because it sits on top of the receiver, it's going to be obviously higher than the barrel mounted original. So I've got to replace the front sight blade too. But here's the good thing about Skinner, man. They know their shit. So all I did was hit up Andy, and I said, hey, bro, I said, want to do something with this 1495 Marlin and 4570. He says, cool, we can do that. I'm like, okay. I said, he's like, what do you normally shoot out of there? I said, normally 405 grain. He says, I got you. So, like, who fucking knows what size front blade he's sending? But he knows based off of that. Like, that, I mean, it's great. I've got those sights on a couple other rifles, and that's all he wants to know, what it is and what grain weight do you typically shoot, and from there he gets you the right size front blade. So
it's interesting. When I was in college, Brownells used to sell what they called safari sights, and it's 3 flip up dovetail blades, and one's your 50. 100, 150 sights.
Yep. And
they're meant to be used on safari guns. So I built a whole bunch of I back in college, and between high school and college, and in college up until probably my second or third year in college, I built a bunch of sporterized Mausers and in various calibers. And I built some ARs too, but ARs just didn't sell back then. It's hilarious to me how times have changed, but
they don't sell too great anymore. There's so many.
Yeah, there are. But back then there was only a couple, and nobody cared. And like,
not really.
anyway, so
Not really.
I built an SKS.
I still don't care too much, but you know,
I'm an AR guy. So anyway, so I built this Mauser action, and I forget what I've chambered it in now. It was probably something like 30-06 or 25-06, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I had not done like a good set of iron sights on a rifle, because literally every gun I built, people want to put a scope on it.
Yeah.
So, and I would drill and tap the receiver, and I had a jig to to do that. And I put this set of express sights on it with a hooded front sight, and those are amazingly fast.
Oh yeah,
like they're
hooded front. Honestly, is the only way to go, man.
It was so ridiculously easy and fast to get on target, especially that 50-yard sight was like I could see somebody in like darkest Africa using those sights to shoot a charging rhino in the fucking head, because it's so fast, and I was really surprised. I put them on because I thought they looked good.
Yeah.
And I did some other stuff too. I did like a different bottom metal on the Mauser, and it ended up being a really cool gun. And it was funny because I could buy those Mausers for like $80, I think is what they were going for.
Yeah.
And it may have been less than that. And then I would take the factory stock off. Nobody wanted the factory stock. I had a pile of them. I'd take the factory stock off, and then I'd use like a Boyd stock, or there was a couple others. And I put
now you guys are talking dirty.
I know, right? And then I would do the Douglas air gauged barrels. You probably don't. You got to be old to remember those fucking things.
Yeah.
And and they had star gauged, which just meant that they had checked it with like a light or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had the air gauged, which was like really, like supposed to be really good. And I put those Douglas barrels on, and spent a lot of time getting it trued up and everything. Those old Mausers would shoot, man. They would just shoot.
Yeah. That's the most bubbled, gun on the planet, but it's also one of the most prolific rifles on the planet as well. I mean, you got to think.
Everybody made them. I had Mausers from Argentina. I had Mausers from fucking Spain. I had a. I think I had a Peruvian Mauser at one point. And I mean, I had them from like I kind of got into the like collecting the different ones.
Right. Yeah.
Sorry, you guys were talking a little too naughty for me. I needed my virgin ears to go somewhere.
Yeah. Dude, it was
apparently.
Yeah, I used to make. I mean, I probably have, by the time it was said and done in $1992, I would have, or $1991, I'd have maybe $200 in this whole thing, the whole gun. Maybe a little more if I put a Timney trigger was like $50 back then. It's a lot.
Plus your time, of course.
Plus my time, and I could easily sell it for $600 or $700 easily. Like I'd have a line out the door, and I had people asking me to build and all that kind of stuff, and you know what really fucked me? In 1994. They passed.
Probably that chick at the bar. I would.
Well, that also happened, but
hopefully hopefully you fucked her. But
right.
Mind.
So in
I'll take it either way, man. I'll lay there. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why they invented reverse cowgirl, so dudes could just sit there.
Right.
And anyway, so the mouse, I had so many of those things go through.
No, great. It's all about the crazy Amazon position. Don't ask me.
I don't know what that is, but we'll get into it. I had so many Mausers, and I was buying them and selling them and buying them and selling them and all this. And then in 1994, right as I was in the process of applying for what they used to call a tabletop FFL, and that means that I could.
I always heard it kitchen table, but yeah, there you.
Yeah, you could literally buy. I could buy guns and then sell them and ship them places. And that's all I really wanted, is I just wanted to be able to ship guns from one state to the other, or have somebody in Alabama come up and buy a gun and legally be able to sell it to them. 1994.
And this is the beginning of the movie. Was it what was that Nicolas Cage movie? God of War or something like that? Or
yeah,
Lord of War.
Lord of War or something.
Lord of War. So
this is, kids, it's called gun running. Don't do it.
So the problem is in 1994 they passed the assault weapons ban, and part of the assault weapons ban restructured how the FFLs were issued, and they basically did away with tabletop FFLs, and that fucked me hardcore.
Yeah,
it messed up a lot of people. There was a guy local to me that was dealing in and collecting all kinds of lever action rifles. I mean, all kinds. He had these Winchester commemorative rifles that came out of the custom shop with all kinds of engraving on them, and there was artwork by like Remington, the artist, not Remington the manufacturer. He had all these cool ass guns, and he had been operating on it under a tabletop FFL, and then they got rid of it. And he's like, "Damn it, can't do it anymore."
Yeah.
So overnight, his entire business went away.
You can do it. It's just super difficult.
They came back in like 2000, I think 2001.
That's what I'm saying. It's super difficult though.
Yeah,
like it's not. It's
government
hard.
getting in the way of progress, man.
Yeah, it's hard because it's in your residence, right? So being able to meet a lot of the security requirements and the other things are difficult. It's much easier to buy, whatever, a couple $1,000, few $1,000 portable building and just put it in the backyard,
Yeah. Yeah, it's an interesting it was an interesting time in my life. But
you've had a bunch of those.
I know, right? Like I look back on my life, I'm like, nobody, if somebody made a movie about my life, nobody'd fucking believe it.
Who would play Grid? That's what I want to know from the chat. If there was a movie of Grid's life, what actor plays Grid? Sound off in the chat.
Are you talking about Grid, young Grid, or old Grid?
Both. Let's go both.
Okay, young Grid is going to be the kid that played J.D. Vance in the movie Hillbilly, whatever it's called, like the J.D. Vance story. He'll play young Grid, and I think we're going to go with Tom Arnold for old Grid, reminiscent.
Tom Arnold?
Yeah, Tom Arnold.
Damn. What did I do to you, bro?
Hey, Tom Arnold's my friend, you asshat. Like
Tom Arnold, I gotta say, Tom Arnold
is a friend of mine.
Tom Arnold sucked in pretty much everything except for, I'll give him credit for this, True Lies.
True Lies.
Oh yeah, True Lies. He was the dude.
He was great on Roseanne. I think he has great stand-up. I think he's funny as hell when he's doing stand-up. He was good in the movie that I was working on with him, Marriage Made in Heaven. He played an angel, which was hilarious. Tom Arnold's cool, bro. Don't hate on Tom Arnold.
At least he didn't say like Morgan Freeman or somebody. Fuck.
I think it's funny. Like his podcast is hilarious.
Nowadays,
talking
with
about
Hollywood,
being divorced.
Nowadays with Hollywood, they would have.
Right?
You either had to be black or gay. One of the two, Grid. One of the two.
But how many gay guys with a deep voice, like for narration? Because like Morgan Freeman has the voice for narration. So yeah, you get the black, and then because you have
Plane.
James Earl Jones was another black guy, great deep voice, right? But a gay guy with a deep voice, I haven't met one.
I mean, the man has a point.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, I think I say Tom Arnold plays old Grid, like when he's old and like sitting on his porch drinking his sweet tea.
Tell me, get the fuck off my lawn.
Yeah, but he's just yelling at squirrels because nobody's walking on his lawn. And he's calling the squirrels gay.
Damn. This is not going well for me.
Yeah, Tom Arnold is Jewish. He is Jewish. But you know what? There's some good Jews, just like there's some bad Jews.
Yeah. So what else has been going on? And we got off on the gun prattle there. What else has been going on?
We did.
Oh, let's talk about your face off with the father of the red pill.
Oh, Rolo? Rolo left. He didn't want to play with me anymore.
What? Whoa! What? I missed this. What the fuck happened? What happened with Rolo?
Go on and tell him, Grid. Or do you want me to tell him?
You can tell him. You were.
I don't have to know every intimate fucking detail, but like, what the fuck are we talking
earlier
about?
Today on Chaotic Truth, Rolo was on with Mike Sartain, and I guess they were. I guess they were talking red pill, and they're allowing people up on the panel, but Chaotic Truth wasn't there. Someone else, I don't even know who it was kind of like moderating or running the show.
Yeah.
And Grid goes up there and he starts, first he gives us his, explanations like, hey, I'm not red pill. People confuse me for red pill, but I'm a patriarch. All right. I thought like, your first book was cool, but I mean, it's kind of like common sense, like shit we should already know.
I didn't say it that way, but
that's basically what you said, though. I'm giving you the synopsis. Okay,
I did say that.
Like basically, I thought like I learned this shit in third grade. But it's cool book. Haven't read the other ones yet because I just don't think I have time for it. But a lot of guys confuse me as red pill. I'm not. I'm a patriarch. But some of the things I agree with the descriptors that the red pill says, and some of these content creators, make you look bad. But the red pill's cool for guys that don't know this shit. Yeah, wake up and know this shit.
Good luck selling. I mean, good. I didn't say it, but the impetus was good on you for selling all those books.
Yeah.
I think I did say good job selling all the books, but
when Grid started like gently prodding and pushing back on some of the
I literally said I got to push back on this, Rolo.
Yeah, and it was just like one thing, and then
next thing
he disappeared. Next thing you know, he disappeared. He was gone. Like I looked 1 second on the screen, he was there. Grid said, "Rolo, I got to push back a little bit," and then next thing you know, he was gone. Grid scared him off. Like he made him run away.
I didn't scare him off, but he posted in the back chat as soon as I said I got to push back on this a little bit, and I made a short statement, not even long, short statement. Literally, that moment he posted in the back chat, I've got to get out in 5 guys, or something like that, and then he left. So, yeah. And then I had a delightful exchange with Sartain. I think it was because I mentioned.
You mentioned Pearl. You mentioned that you're cool with Pearl. Like you have no.
I was like, well, I said, look, I don't know Pearl. I don't know that I like her or dislike her. I've watched her show. I asked him why they say the same things, and I said, why is it you guys say the same things, but you hate?
She has no room for self-improvement. That's the part that you nailed them on.
Yeah, I did nail him on that. That's true. I said, why you talk about self-improvement for everyone, but you can't allow Pearl to improve.
Oh shit! What happened?
Yeah, you basically said that you're not willing to extend her basically like you didn't say this, but this is basically what you said. You're not willing to extend her the
Imperious
same
was in the
grace.
chat spurging.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, I'm sure he
you
was.
basically said like you're not
Uh-oh.
willing to extend her the grace that she needs to for self-improvement.
whoa. Well, that was weird. Sorry about that. I did not do that.
Wouldn't you?
It just randomly did that. I did not.
What did it randomly do? Did it kick me out?
Yeah, kicked us all out.
Yeah, it kicked everybody out, even me.
Oh,
Get out of here.
Well,
I
then I
blame
guess I have to
Siege.
repeat myself.
I blame Siege. That shit didn't happen till he fucking left. So thanks for leaving and fucking up the stream,
Left the
Siege.
door open.
Well, you basically kind of called him a hypocrite. You're like, hey, so you're not willing to give her the opportunity to self-improve?
Well, then he said that. Then he kind of gave a little ground and said, "Well, she basically steals everything I say." And I said, "Well, I don't. Well, if she does that, then why?"
He stole
why do you have a
everything
problem?
that Pook has said. Like the book of Pook is basically the rational male, 1.0.
Yeah, and then
like
even
there's other books, but like there's no point in going down that whole thing. Like if you're gonna say that.
But I did go there with him, and I did call him on the pearl thing, and he admitted that he just doesn't like her, and that he thinks that she is somebody, or maybe that was Sartain may have come to his aid and said that Pearl is who they bring on when Ben Shapiro or no Matt. He said Matt Walsh. He said when Matt Walsh is having a slow day and they need somebody to beat up on, they bring Pearl on, and I kind of ignored that statement. I actually think I had a really good showing against Rolo. I told Rolo, look, I'm like, and we're kind of on the same side here, but you guys, you can't not expect pushback when you say something like there, when you're up there giving a speech and you're talking about what a great person you are and how all these things help people and there's all these people that misunderstand the red pill and the red pill movement. When you are saying that, and yet you personally are going after people in the red pill movement, but not the people that probably should be gone after. Like, for example, Walter at Fresh and Fit for saying that you need to body 50 women before a man even thinks about marriage.
That was Myron, but then
was it Myron? I thought it was
Walter.
Walter.
It was Myron.
Yeah, it was
Myron, but Andrew got him to walk that back.
I know. I watched him walk that back.
But
wow.
Like my thing is, it's like, okay, so you're about the red pill space and you're about these content creators. Cool. How's your friend Thor doing? Or how's that fundraiser that you said that you were going to do for him?
Yeah, I wasn't.
Get that?
I didn't know
Did
about
you ever
it.
get that? Like, I mean, I'm just saying that's me. That's what I would say. But like,
I almost
about it, but then you don't bring it up.
I was unfortunately he didn't stay long enough, but I did say.
Oh, as soon as you brought me up, he would have been done. He would have left.
I was going to talk about how that I've had Thor on the show, and even though Thor and I don't really agree, we're very cordial to each other, and I think a lot of Thor. I think he's a good human being. So even though we don't agree on everything, right? Thor is dyed in the wood. So my personal opinion, and this is only my opinion, and it shouldn't piss anybody off, but it's just my opinion. I look at Thor as being more red pill than Rolo, right?
Well,
and I will give Rolo this. Rolo says that he is just an intellectual analyzing this stuff, and now I believe that. I 100% believe that. I didn't believe that before, but I think I believe it now, because when I look at Thor, who lives it, breathes it, is red pill.
Actually, I'd say that Thor is like beyond red pill in the sense of, and this is kind of like what my goal is, like, with what my book is about and what, I'm trying to get guys in this space to think about is, cool. You got all the data now from the red pill. That's great. Are we going to sit here and bitch about it? Or are we going to use this knowledge and equip ourselves and become the type of men that don't have to worry about this shit? Or are we going to bitch about women? Which one do you guys want to do? Because if you want to bitch about women, here, fine, stay in the red pill.
I'm old, and I'm tired, and I'm fucking lazy, and I just want to bitch about women. So
cool. Then stay here. But for those that want to like level up and move on and work on themselves and improve and aspire, go chase the goal that they want, then let's become men of masculine presence and know what that means. And it goes back to the old stoicism and that traditional masculinity of hard work, ethics, being a man of your word, having that sense of presence that when you walk into a room, you don't have to announce yourself. People just know that you're there,
Sure.
Well,
Well,
all that stuff. That's beyond red pill.
Yeah.
Because red pill is
Go
bitching
ahead.
about it. I was just gonna say red pill right now is always, it just seems like they're just bitching about what women are doing.
Content creators trying to stay relevant right now. That's what's happening right now. Is people like Wes Watson can't make the $15,000 per client that they were. So
isn't Wes Watson in jail for like beating somebody up
again?
I didn't know he got out. I was just recently told that he was in jail.
Oh, I don't know. I do know that he was. I think he was getting sued by some people who thought that his program was misrepresented.
No.
Lord of Flies. Myron did actually say that men should sleep with 50 women before they marry, so that they understood how women and sex work and had to be good at sex, so that when you bed this woman who's going to be your wife, that you can just fuck her so good that she will never want another woman. And he stuck by that for about
that's not
a year.
Don't misquote the man. If you're gonna try to quote him, try to do your best in quoting him accurately. Basically, he was saying that you don't know what a woman is really like until you gotten intimate with her. This is his opinion. So once you've had sex with a woman, you kind of see who they really are. And so make sure that you have experienced a variety of women. Now the number has always been arbitrary, but yes, he threw out 50 as some huge number, because
He
most
didn't
guys
just
don't
throw
even
that out. He doubled down on that shit.
Yeah, most guys don't even sleep with 50 women in a lifetime. So that's pretty crazy.
It is pretty
but
nuts.
like he threw a crazy arbitrary number out there, and he was basically saying you need to have experience with multiple women, so you have an understanding what you want to settle down with in a wife, or what you want your wife to be like. The thought process, I could see where they're coming from with it. It just never adds up. It doesn't compute, at the end of the day. The more bodies you've been with doesn't necessarily mean, now you know exactly what kind of woman you are going to be with after you stick your dick in her. You don't really download much information after your dick goes inside. It's not like a hard drive where you're just able to extract.
That's true. I that's a great point to make. Hey, I'm supposed to be learning this, but the problem is the minute I stick my dick in the socket, my brain goes offline. That's a solid point. That's a win for Glenn, ladies and gentlemen. That was a win for Glenn. You heard it here first. So, that was fucking hilarious.
Unless it does work, and I've been only fucking these defective women that don't get their software updates properly. They don't have the Wi-Fi range or something.
Yeah, they're on dial-up.
I mean, I'm on that like that AOL disc, that comes in the mail. But the one thing I wish you would have pushed back on, and I would if you would ever talk to me.
Well, the problem is that I was trying to pay attention to them, and I turned my ringer off on my phone, and then I looked.
That was the worst mistake you ever made, because I ended up calling you like, "Look, motherfucker."
I know. That's why I had to turn my ringer off, because I'm literally like, I jump on and all of a sudden my phone rings, and I'm like, "Oh shit!"
You're like, "Hey, I'm on." I'm like, "Yeah, that's why I'm calling."
I did. I said that exact thing.
No, the one thing I wished you would have pushed back on was that he says that people don't know how to just take data. They want you to tell them how to feel about it.
Yeah.
Right. And that's bullshit. we tell people how to feel about the information we relay to them by the
What
words
his
we
book
use,
is
our
all about.
tonality, how we present something, you know. If I said, hey, women are hypergamous, you know, that's like, and I presented it in a cheerful, you know, way, like, you know, it's so amazing that women are hypergamous. Like, you're not going to think hypergamy is a bad thing. But if
Sure.
I present it to you, well, because of hypergamy, and when all women are hypergamous, now it comes with a negative context. So regardless if I told you how to feel about it verbatim or, you know, bluntly, I am telling you how I feel about it, and therefore how you should feel about it if I'm the one that's, you know, providing the information. So to say that you don't tell, you know, he doesn't want people to have his opinion on this, you know, like, I just present the data, but how you feel about it, that's on you. No, you tell them how they should feel about it by the way you deliver the data.
Yeah.
He didn't like it when I called him on the religion aspect of it either. And yet, and I forgot this, Angel Berber. I'm sorry. You know, the thing is I was literally like unpacking from the shooting trip that we're not going to take this weekend because of weather. So I wasn't like ready to go on this thing. I was like, well, I'm done unpacking. I get this text from Glenn. Rolo's on CT. Did you know that? And I'm like, no, I didn't know that. So I walked out to the studio, fired everything up, jumped online. I didn't put any thought into this. It was just, fuck it. Let's make it happen. And but the interesting thing is, the interesting thing to me is that even off the cuff, I managed to press those guys. And the thing is, I wasn't really trying to. I sat there for a few minutes. You can watch it. I sit there for at least 2 or 3 minutes, just trying to figure out what they were talking about, what part of the conversation they were going with, and it really was. It was a really interesting thing to me. But one thing I wish I had kind of said, and hopefully I'll be able to talk to Rolo again. Maybe I can get him on the channel or something. But one of the things I really didn't get into is the religion aspect of it, and as Angel Berber points out, I don't know if it's 99%, but it's got to be in the 90 percentile of red pillars that are secular, and that's crazy to me, especially since, you know, they promote this as being a wholesome sort of men's improvement sort of deal.
There's nothing wholesome
You
about
saw
it.
how he crawdadded around when I brought up marriage.
Well, yeah, he goes, I've been married for 27 years.
Yeah, obviously, you know, I support it.
No, you support your marriage. You know, like when the guy writes an article, says, guys who fuck and guys who don't fuck. Guys who fuck get married, hoping that like that will secure their access to vagina. Guys who don't fuck, or guys who fuck don't need to get married because they have plethora of vagina thrown at them, so they're not going to be as willing to settle down and get married when they have variety.
Say that.
You know, and he says that in his Substack, and I'm like, well, okay, so you're saying guys who get married are guys that have a scarcity mindset, and they're only getting married because they are trying to save the vagina that they have access to and preserve it because they may never get vagina again?
He has said that as well, and you reminded me of that.
So I guess since he's married, does that mean he doesn't get that much vagina?
Yeah. Sartain was. I think Sartain was shocked that I just put. I don't think anybody was really pushing back again. I don't know because I didn't watch it beforehand, but I don't know that anybody was really pushing back against those guys. I think again they were just standing up there preaching, and I was like, no, that's not how that works. You know, whatever. And, so it was very interesting. It was an interesting conversation. Like I said, I told Sartain, I like him. I don't have a problem with and I told him that I repeatedly say that I don't have a problem with red pill descriptors. Just the prescriptions given out by the people that they, by the creators, a lot of them that they endorse.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
he says he doesn't give out prescriptions, but then again, just read the 9 iron rules. Those are exactly prescriptions or
Right.
best practices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like none of them have it 100% right, but what makes it difficult is there's certain things that each one does get right. And so if you get it right with something that resonates with somebody, then they're more likely to trust you, you know what I mean, on everything, when they probably shouldn't trust you on everything. I mean, a broke clock's right twice a day, right?
Oh, absolutely. I think another problem is that because we believe that people are the providing this information, this data, and we now are enlightened by this information and data that they presented, we assume that they are the ones with the answers. And we need to stop making people that present our data or information to us the person that we go to for solutions for it. Because that may not be their role. Their role is just present the data. Cool, thanks for the data. Maybe someone else's job is to take that leadership and say, okay, this is what we should do with this information that we have from this data, and this is how we should operate moving forward. And too often we think that the person that's presenting the data should also be that same leader. And if, a Smeagol-haired 80s rock star would like to have it, he would be that leader that everybody looks to. But he could just be the guy that provides information. And that's a great role in itself. But he might be trying to take on a role that's not meant for him.
Yeah.
Well, let me just, kind of gravitate away. They did admit that Tate is not, red pill, and Tate said many times he wasn't red pill. And I thought that was pretty cool because to me, I mean, it's hypocritical at the same time because for a long time now, they've all had pictures of them with the Tates on their desk and on their walls and in plain sight. And of course, they're distancing themselves because of the legal issues and whatnot. But I think the reality is that I think they should have a long time ago said that, Tate's really not red pill. Yeah, he's for Andrew Tate. And I didn't know that Myron. I mean, I knew Myron had donated to Thor's GoFundMe. I didn't know Tristan Tate had. That's awesome that he did that. But Rolo has not.
Rolo. Well, we could get into that in a minute. But Tristan Tate last year donated $10,000 in Bitcoin to Thor's GoFundMe. Thanks to Pearl, because Pearl reached out to the Tates and told them what Thor was going through. And, we have mutual friends with the Tates, like Sterling Cooper and Justin Waller and, a couple of those guys like that are closer with the Tates. And when they found out about it, and like they found out like what Thor's going through, knowing that just a few years prior, his wife was in a horrible accident that became a paraplegic, they stepped up like good friends. And, they made sure that we reached that year's goal. So, the Tates could be criminals. They could do a lot of wrong things, but a criminal could still be kind and do good things too. I'm not saying that the Tates are criminals. I'm just saying if they are, that doesn't mean that they can't do good or they won't do good. To me, in my book, I'm not a judge, so I don't know what's going on over there in court, but they're good in my book.
Yeah.
Now I may not trust them with any advice about other things, but I may not want to go hang out with them in Dubai or something. I don't want to end up getting kidnapped, but
you don't want your organs harvested.
No, I don't want to I don't want to get lover boyed on it and end up being on a webcam or something. But they're cool in my book. They're good peoples.
Well,
but as you mentioned, you did mention that Rolo, both times we run this fundraiser, he has failed to participate. Although he said he was going to run his own fundraiser last year for Thor. that never happened. So, well, either it never happened or he never
You forgot.
delivered the money to Thor. One of the two. But he
Weird
said that,
how people are just weird. What can you
well,
do?
it's sad. Is like, you say you're his friend. If I say I'm your friend, I'm your friend, and you'll see it by action. If you're my friend and you're saying that you won't help me, your friend, because someone you don't like is also helping me, wouldn't you want me to get all the help possible? So you are going to renege on your helping hand because you don't like the other people helping? How selfish are you? Is it about you or is it about helping me?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that I can't really get into a whole lot of this because I just don't know. But I feel like, look, and I've said this before, I'll say it again. I think Rolo is no different than any other entertainer that is protecting his brand and his content or creation or whatever you want to call it. And it's what he's doing. It's just what he's doing. That's all there is to it.
Look, I like his work. I think Rolo's work is really good for men that have gone through a divorce and don't know why they thought they were doing everything right and why things didn't work
Sure.
out. It's a good resource to dive into. I'll tell you right now, it's not all his work. He grouped together all the works of like Book of Pook, Chateau Artiste, a bunch of other guys, and he condensed it and compiled it into this one document called The Rational Male, which took a long time and which was a great job that he did. But he stands on the shoulders of giants. So, it's good work, but it's work from other men and himself. So it's a good collective effort. And so I encourage people to read it. But the Rolo now that's turned into a TMZ gossip bitch fit channel, it's sad because I respect the man's work and that will taint his legacy. And I told him that to his face before. But that's all I got to say. I'm done. Moving on. Talk about guns.
It's all right, man. He is Rolo's Rolo, man. What can you say?
Oh, about the Daily Wire thing that you mentioned earlier. The reason why, and this is from Michael Knowles, the reason why Daily Wire did not extend an invitation to anybody from that camp, Michael Knowles said this: why would I platform someone who has been openly slandering me, talking shit about like crap about me on Twitter for years? Why would I give them the opportunity to be on my platform and raise them up and make them relevant when they've been an asshole to me? Why would I do that to them? He's like, we're just going to ignore him. And that's why they didn't bring Rolo on. I digress.
It's okay. Guys, it's that time of night. I gotta go. Got things to do. People to see. Places to go. I know I'm a
quitter.
Wife to do, people to see. I got it.
And I'm not even gonna go over to that what is that? Verbal Combat place. I haven't been there in a while. Not even gonna go over there, I don't think. Because why would I? But I'm going to send you guys over to Andrew. He looks like he's having a great night making fun of stupid people. They deserve to be made fun of. Make no mistake. I'm going to go to bed. I might pop around the internet here and there, and I'm glad that I know that we haven't actually cleared the air of the "Are We Not Men" thing, but now maybe some of you guys will be able to understand why everyone is reacting the way they're reacting, because that's what we do with losers, and he is losers. And
hey, you know what? I just hope that he does well.
Yeah, right. Anyway,
Peace be with you.
You
Peace
guys
be with you.
Peace be with everyone, except me. I don't want it. You can have your. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm just being contrarian. It's okay. It's just me. All right. Anyway, you guys, as always, be cool. Wear glasses if you need them.
Hey, great. I just took a shit
Oh,
on
by
your
the way,
lawn.
speaking of glasses, I just got my set of active blue lenses in, but they
Hell yeah.
my
Hey,
kid's
did you
getting
hear me?
rubies next week, so he's so we're excited about that.
Hell yeah.
I
Hey,
can't.
Grid.
You'll be seeing me on camera with my cool active blue
Active blue,
lenses.
baby.
Oh, the Raging Patriot. What happened is, Are We Not Men has been, or We Are Not Men, whatever, however you want to say it. I've heard it both ways, more one way than the other. And
Hey, Grid. I just
he
took a
came
shit on your
in.
lawn.
He created all kinds of drama. He's persona non grata, and we kind of let all that stuff. I let all that stuff hang out tonight. You're welcome to DM me on Discord, and I will, as long as you get to me before I go to sleep, I'll try to answer tonight. And if not, I will. I'll be glad to tell you tomorrow. But in the meantime, everyone, be cool. Wear glasses if you need them, and get the fuck off